everybody. Are we going to do the call?
Yeah, and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're watching a Final Fantasy XIV recap stream.
This Final Fantasy XIV recap stream is all about Tom's journey with Endwalker.
Yes.
Because you walked to the end.
Just a hair under a year.
A year.
All right.
A year. Hello, everybody. Hello. How's the audio? We good? We live? I think we're good. So it has been, oh my gosh, a couple months since our last MSQ. We got real busy.
Mm-hmm.
So took a bit to get through that last chunk.
But we are caught up with MSQ. We are on the same quest. Yeah.
You got there.
I did.
I didn't know that.
I told you. You were busy. I don't know.
Sorry.
Ajdaya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Caveat is you have done a lot more side quests. You've done society quests, role quests. You've leveled multiple classes to 100.
You have a
lot. We're not on total even playing field. But as far as MSQ progress is concerned, we are at the same spot.
Okay, so before we jump into the MSQ discussion, we're going to be talking about all things to the roll credits of Endwalker, right?
Yeah,
so let's not talk about patch.
I think we're both at the beginning of 6.2.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amorphous. I might accidentally mention some patch things if I...
Yeah.
I guess no, because we go to...
It's like so definitive.
Yeah, it's definitively the
like
end
a new chapter
of Endwalker. Yeah.
Yeah. Or actually, I don't know. Maybe it does like tie up Endwalker. Okay.
Yeah. Because you just leave Kryl standing there. Or no, Tataru standing there in the Rising Stone.
Yeah. She stood there for so long for me. I mean, probably not compared to everyone else, but yeah, she was just like, I haven't heard anything.
She stood there for a good, 90 seconds for me. She's like, oh, so great to see you again.
All right, so before we jump in, I kind of wanted to show everybody some of the goodies that we got from Anime Expo, because Tom and I went to Anime Expo this past week. It was our first one. It was our first for both of us, a convention event of this kind. I've never gone to any kind of
fan convention.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've gone to like content create like VidCon, but
or
never
like industry convention.
I never went to like a video
educating
game
for careers. The National Association of Broadcasters.
It was completely different. So I kind of want to show some of the 14 merch that we got. Yeah. So what did you think? What did you think of Anime Expo?
It was awesome. I absolutely loved it. One day was definitely a lot, and I know it goes for 4 days.
Yeah,
I would have died.
Yeah.
I think there's a universe where I could do 2 days and have an awesome time.
I think so too, especially if we went with other people.
Yeah. A big highlight for me that I was absolutely not expecting it.
Look at this massive tote bag. Like you can
totes
pack
fantastic.
Your whole life.
You could put a Lalafell in there.
Foam. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Everybody was walking around with these giant, the play free.
It's super cute. I love the art, but like, when would I bust
It's
this
a
out?
lot of groceries.
You can put your whole.
I mean, you could
groceries.
You could like frame it as an art.
And I realized, like at Anime Expo, a lot of booths were giving out tote bags, but they were all massive. Like these, like. Almost like backpacks. Like I think it was Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll had
Hulu had a backpack.
Yeah, one of the big ones had like the straps on the side right here. So this would be like on your back like that.
Now Hulu had an actual backpack that was just a backpack size thing, but it looked like drawn, like it had really thick line. It looked like an animated thing, but in real life, and so everyone's walking around with those. Those were actually really cool.
I was like, I intentionally brought a backpack because I wanted to be hands-free. I now know why they give you tote bags, because everyone has, every booth has like stickers and tote bags and knickknacks and all kinds of stuff to give out.
I believe they refer to that as swag. But what I was saying, the highlight for me that I wasn't expecting was all the cosplay.
Oh my gosh. I thought that was going to be just like a side thing. I didn't realize it was the thing.
Zero interest. Like, it's like, yeah, I knew people do it, but it's just not my thing, not my whatever.
And we're going to cosplay next year now.
It was so incredible. Like
it was so cool. It was so freaking
the effort
cool.
that people put into it and the detail, and
Yeah.
especially as someone who likes 3D printing, seeing the huge role that 3D printing has in making like cosplay custom and unique and
personalized and leveled up, and it was definitely not like Halloween. You know,
no,
like
it wasn't Spirit Halloween costumes. Warrior, like no.
And it was crazy how many people had weapons. I don't know. That actually like surprised me.
Yeah. Well, we walked in and there was a weapons check. And like, is this like to check
like
for weapons? But like, no, it's if you have a weapon, they check it.
Yeah, like an axe.
It gets tagged to make sure it's not like an actual weapon. But it's like, at what point does this fake sword? I guess it's a big plastic sword. You could hurt somebody with. You could bludgeon someone with it, but you couldn't stab somebody.
Blunt force trauma to the
like.
To the
where is the line?
Okay.
Anyway,
so
I'm a fan of this.
This was from the 14 booth. Final Fantasy 14 Online specifically had its own booth, and they had the activity was a photo rally, stamp rally. So you had 3 activities that you had to do, which like I have thoughts about what the main activity. But so here's the postcard.
Stola. Yeah, see,
living her best life
after Endwalker.
She ain't working anymore. She's on vacation. And then here's the stamp. So the first thing that you had to do was the new player experience, which is why I was kind of like, well, this is kind of lame. So they had like a computer lab of PCs where you can log into, if you were a new character, you could go through the character creation process, right?
Which it took me 3 hours to go through that.
I would never make my character where there was a giant line behind me. There's no way. I need to be like in the zone and
then you have to hopefully go home and like install the game and remember to log in, all that stuff. And if you were an existing player to get the stamp, you just had to log into the lodestone, which was literally like 2 seconds. Like, and I was like, do I really want to put my password in this random computer? And they just see like, oh, you have an account, okay. And I was like,
and then you log out, and that was it. And I was like, well, that's so anticlimactic compared to the new player experience.
Well, yeah. So it would have been cool, like you said, the new player experience, just have existing profiles and accounts, different things, and let people like
play.
Like how,
jump into a doobie
back in the day,
something.
like Best Buy or Walmart would have like the video game console.
Yeah,
and you just play
like
the
let
game.
me walk around Eorzea and whatever's. Yeah, so I don't know, whatever. I'm sure they thought about it. Then, oh my God, then you had to do this visitor survey, which was, which like if I had taken it after, I would have had different thoughts because it was like, oh, what'd you think of the booth? But it was like before we
the
had
booth
done
was gorgeous and like really well themed and super cool put together.
Yeah. And then there was the Kugane photo spot. So
that's fun.
I don't think I posted our picture that we actually took, but they had a whole set of Kugane and like props and stuff, and it was gorgeous. That was like the one thing I wanted to do was take a picture there, but you couldn't unless you were actually doing the stamp rally. So anyway, we completed it. That was fun. So as part of our completion,
all the other,
we got the tote bag, we got Barium
discount.
That's the other side. Here's this side.
I don't have a way to put it on stream, but someone today I saw posted the back of the shirts. One of our friends that we knew from like the online community was one of the people working the booth, and they're wearing all bright yellow shirts. Did you read the back of the shirt?
I did not.
It was the meme of like, have you heard of Final Fantasy?
See, they just leaned into it.
Yeah, like officially official. And I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's what their shirt said.
Yeah. So Brian Ricardo, who is in our Discord server, in the HGP Discord server, we actually met because we were invited to speak on a panel for Ohio University's, like one of their marketing classes. We've done it twice. Mm-hmm. And Jacob, who's the professor, I've been on his podcast, his YouTube channel before. He used to stream and make YouTube videos for Final Fantasy XIV. So anyway, he invited us there. We had never met Brian in person, so it was great to be able to.
Live on
he was working the line of like.
He's just crushing dreams with the sign that says "line capped," and that's what he had to do all day for 4 days. So
everyone's like trying to get the line is capped. The line was like never capped. Or it was always capped. Yeah,
it was very hard to actually get it. And then we got these bag tag things. These are sweet.
And then there's this tabletop RPG. I think it's like the starter. It's a trial booklet. Straight up says not for sale right there. But
so does the bag tag.
It's gorgeous. It's so pretty. I know 10 has the actual like tabletop thing, but I think it's just like a beginner's packet.
This is cool though, because you could
How
actually take this and
do a campaign.
dive into it.
Yeah. And there was a whole tabletop section with a bunch of tables, and everyone was just like sitting and playing a game. It was so cool. Just
different, not just Final Fantasy.
But... Yeah, all kinds of tabletop stuff. I'm sure there was a lot of D&D, but yeah, it tells you like how to, you know, walk through a turn and all those things. So there's a folder, and then we also went to the Sega pop-up shop. Different, but we had to get the Like a Dragon merch. This is a folder, but there wasn't anything else that I wanted.
There wasn't like a little poster so you could find.
I really wanted a poster. There was like pillows, but I was like, you can't see it from.
Oh, and you got your metal print.
Oh, I did.
This was a highlight.
Check this out. Displate had an awesome. They also had a stamp rally. This is not a print, a plate of solo leveling. Tom
still has the plastic on it, but it has like different textures and shapes and colors.
I had no interest in watching this, and then when I started it, I binged it in like 2 days, and I was like, Tom, we have to watch it. We watched it in like 3 days. Yeah.
So that has, you have to find a spot for that.
So yeah, that was really fun. So anyway, okay, let's check in with comments and then we'll jump into MSQ. The questions are coming in. Kay says, how's the Manderville quest? How do you feel after you could do the real MSQ again after you skipped one expansion?
No, 2, right? Because there's none in Shadowbringers and none in Endwalker. I haven't seen my guy since friggin' Stormblood. It was so good. It was, I am savoring it very much. But I do feel, sorry, I could do a whole stream on that. I do feel, as much as it was a bummer to not have it for those expansions, the thing I had heard, maybe someone even here told me like the writers wanted to take a break because they didn't want it to be repetitive. And it feels like it has come back with a purpose. So much so that even some things from previous storylines are kind of like, oh yeah, it turns out it was that big deal. We're going to do this instead. But like, I'm very excited.
I love this question. Who is the better agent of chaos, Zenos or Din? That is a close call, is what that is.
Yeah, that is a close call. I will say after one of our repo extractions yesterday, I'm going to put myself on that list.
Wait, which one?
One where everyone was talking. I was like, I'm just doing this. And then everyone almost died. And we almost lost everything, but everything was fine. And nobody died. I don't
remember.
It was great.
I just remember the last one, and then I died. Anyway, let's see. Kay says, tell me how you felt during the walk. We will get back to that.
Yeah.
We will get back to that. Actually, I'm going to leave that one here. Very much is an end. It is the roll credits. I love it so much. It makes me cry. Z9 is here. Hello, hello. Let's see. Arcana says, obviously 10. Here. Which Lalafell from the guild are you sticking in the tote bag? Jiro is the answer.
We have 2. Oh, no, we only have 1 bag. So, yeah, 1 Lalafell.
Cat Dragon, I'm a full weekend at a con kind of person. I feel like, yeah, I could see there's so much. There's 100,000 people at Anime Expo, which I feel like is smaller in like compared to like Comic-Con.
I don't know. I know NAB that we do 3 days at and are exhausted is 60,000. That's 1 million square feet. So it's a lot.
Breeze series here. Let's see. If it's not sharp, that's no better than a weapon than a chair you can pick up from the con. That's true.
I guess so.
Yeah. For Tom, if you've never played 14 or Repo prior to this Anime Expo, would you have enjoyed the event as much as you did? Oh, that's a good question. It's such a good energy.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I would have enjoyed it because there's also like anime. Like there's stuff that I like, and there's definitely, especially in the anime world, there's enough to like hook you on. Oh, I want to go check out that show. I want to go check out this. I want to see that. So I definitely would have had fun, but it's weird because 14 is a game and not like an anime show. But like the Yoshi P panel and the Yoshi panel, and the Yoshi P panel sounds like a Johnny Be Good kind of thing. Chuck E. Cheese, but that and then the cosplay contest. I mean, there was so many cosplayers from so many things, but like the 14, like Alphino with his like floating, what's it called, like sage things.
That some guy had like PVC pipes.
See, there were two Alphanos that had that. One was like clear tubing that could hang, and so they were there, and another one had ones that actually flipped out.
It was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
unreal.
like these people flew. You know, like jumped on
not
a plane.
in real life, but yeah, they flew.
Yeah. Like you had to, travel.
Yeah, there was
that stuff.
There was Shadowbringers Strolla with like massive,
this huge
staffs.
The staff, it was the detail.
Yeah,
is incredible. It looked heavy. See the lines of the twins.
Yeah, so I don't think I would have appreciated. I don't think I would have been able to appreciate that element of it as much. So I would have still enjoyed it. I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much.
Yeah, for me, I was dying. It was like. Freaking Calamity Ganon was there.
Oh yeah,
I just saw this.
He was a little tipsy,
green guy, and I was like, I think that's Calamity Ganon.
Oh yeah, there was a band. There was a really good band out in like the beer garden.
Oh my gosh,
and they were playing like anime songs, and they played the Chainsaw Man theme song, which I haven't even watched the series yet, but I love that song. We listened to it so many times.
It sounded exactly like, oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, and then for me, lifelong gamer. Like someone from every Final Fantasy was cosplayed. Every anime I've watched, it was I've seen like over 100 anime, so I kind of like I was like that looks familiar, but I don't remember the name. I don't remember what anime it was from, but it was still like such a treat to see everybody. It was so fun. Anyway, was there Apothecary Diary stuff at the expo?
So much.
Mao Mao was definitely top 3 most cosplayed. Mao Mao, Frieren, and who? I was gonna say Graha, but.
In the Final Fantasy world, Graha, I think
for sure was like
there was
like one Urianger and then like
no Hildes, but one Godbert.
One Godbert, yeah.
There was a Medion.
There was a Medion, yeah. It was great too. There was
Blue
an
Medion.
Aura, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, Gma is here. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on your favorite character. Gma, who is your favorite character? Now that Tom is all caught up. Who is it? Pepper's here. Hello. Okay, so let's jump in.
Okay.
So I believe where we left off with our last MSQ was you basically got to Elpis.
Yes.
For the first time. And you got there because you went back to the first, right? And Elpis was the one who sent you back? Was that what it was?
Yes, we need to figure out the cause of the final days.
Who sent you back? Was it Vana?
Elpis.
It was Elpis, right? You go into the little oculary or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, and that's like his last. He was like his last bit of energy, I think, to do that.
Time travel you back, right?
Yeah, so we go back and we connect with. Well, we sort of accidentally stumble across Emmett and Hythlodaeus, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
and then
it's
then
such
we
a
meet
treat
Hermes.
to see them like in their element.
Yeah, just as like they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're not on this like crazy mission to end the world or whatever. They're just like alive.
Yeah. They're the buddy comedy of like the the nice one and the grumpy one. It's very, very fun. Yeah, and then you're all tiny and they have to make you big.
Yes, because they are a lot bigger.
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out what your deal is, and then you meet Vana, who finally, like, it was very satisfying getting my explanation of like,
who is this?
Look, in Stormblood, I'm very much like Zodiark kind of, or no, Shadowbringers. I'm like, I kind of get Zodiark. Like, I don't really see the problem. Like, there was a leak and you fixed it. Why are we blaming the thing that's plugged? Like, I don't know, makes sense. The other thing wasn't doing any, like, I don't know. I had grievances with her communication or lack thereof, which is like all much better explained.
Yeah.
And I figured it would be, but like,
as you're going through it, you're like, I don't know. I'm kind of, you have more understanding of the dark side.
Right. And then you understand who she is, how she fit into the world. Cause she was on the convocation and she like gave up her seat, which normally then they die or whatever it's called. Cause in that we meet Hermes. And the reason he's upset is because the Fandaniel is going to leave.
Yeah. And then when you leave,
you I forget what they call it, but you die.
Whatever. Yeah.
And of course they're like, no, it's like the Force. You don't really die. You just become of the ether. And it's, that's what you want to do. You want to serve your world and do that. But he kind of recognizes it as no, it's an ending. And what's her face? Vinay, she gave up her seat and she didn't.
Well, see, that was always confusing to me because I was like, if it's not a choice, or if it's a choice, why would you choose to just like peace out?
I think it's a tradition that's expected, but as we've learned in United States politics recently, just because something is tradition and expected does not mean that you have to do it, and then if you don't do it, doesn't mean there's gonna be consequences. So
Right.
you can be a wild card. Sometimes it works out better than others, we will say. But it goes, it's not a law of nature, it's a tradition.
Yeah. Let's see. I took a several week break in the middle of Elpis after meeting Medion, Venat, and everyone. So everyone had set in my mind for a while before I had to face what happens when you finish that zone.
Yeah. And that's where you realize, because of what Hermes is doing with like the creation magics, he's, like prototyping different creatures and stuff. He's one of the few people. Everyone else is very kind of callous about it. If you create something and it doesn't work right, you can just destroy it, like erase it.
See, this part always stuck out to me as like confusing because I was like, I find it hard to believe that Hermes is the only one who thinks this way. But I felt like he had like a the same like reverence for life that I feel like we have, right? But I felt like the ancients, they were just like, oh yeah, make this thing and then just destroy it and whatever.
But I think
there was no recognition of like, you just brought a soul into the world or whatever, and now you're just it's like, what a life is not a big deal kind of thing.
There's such a like culture of conformity at Elpis, and if that's what your whole life,
which is so funny.
It's weird to question it.
That's like a funny like observation, the culture of conformity, because Emmett has painted this perfect culture, this perfect people. Like,
he's looking back with rose-tinted glasses for sure.
Yeah, and like everything's perfect. Why would you, we want to go back to that because we were perfect. You literally are shades. Like, all you guys are just reflections. You're broken, blah, blah, blah. But obviously that perfect society resulted in...
It's not perfect.
Became the final days. Sorry, I kept cutting you off.
No, you didn't. I didn't feel cut off. I'm good.
Let's see. Yeah. So I always found that weird that Hermes was kind of the only one who was aware of you are like, what if you made a human?
He's just an extra sensitive soul. Which, I mean, he just, for whatever reason, he was more empathetic and and I don't know, maybe it was kind of the thing, like there were people who were creating like things that are barely alive, and he's creating things that are very, and not human-like, but like
right.
Because
if you're creating like a fish, it's like whatever.
Yeah, I created a slug. It's just
you're
like,
creating
okay.
Medion, who is a little bit.
She does nothing but absorb emotions around her, like
pure empath.
Yeah, and also if you're the person who's going to create that, it probably says something about you, also.
Yeah, like why?
Yeah,
because obviously you had like a direction,
and he's obviously someone who questions things, like just because someone's role on the convocation is done doesn't mean, like, one, it's sad that then they disappear forever, and two, it doesn't mean that they can't contribute. It doesn't mean they're done contributing. Like, they could still do more, even if it's not in that role, which is what Benat was doing.
Yeah.
So, so it's interesting. So you find this whole thing, and then you learn, where Hermes ends up becoming the Fandaniel that we know, which is a little bit more warped.
Yeah.
And he just sort of seeks destruction. And then you meet Medion.
See, so this is where you're gonna have to put some of the pieces together for me, because at what point does our Hermes Fandaniel, like, why does he just go on a rampage? Because obviously, he was the person who came up with Medion in the first place. So obviously had a respect for life.
Well, so the reason that we're even going in the first place, we go there to find Hermes, and we're going to find him, and we run into Emmett and Hythlodaeus because they are on their way to meet Hermes. Coincidentally, they don't go to Elpis.
Meet us, yeah.
But they don't go there ever.
Right.
They're going specifically to recruit him to take the seat of Fandaniel on the convocation because the current one is leaving, who was somebody that, like, basically was a mentor to him, and so they think they're trying to recruit him for that, and that's kind of what we're sitting in on. He's extremely conflicted because he knows that it's not something that he wouldn't want to do it, but he knows that him doing that means that now this person he cares about is going to disappear, and so he's very, very conflicted, and that's all happening right as he has created Medion, which I believe is technically after he has already sent her sisters out.
Right, because I think what we see is a flashback.
So he's doing kind of a side project.
Yeah, where
it's not just the one creature, there's many, and they've all been sent out to see what happens out there.
What is the question? What is the question that he is trying to get the answer to?
I almost...
It's not just like, what is the meaning of life, is it?
I mean, that would be like, I think the most distilled, dulled down version of it, but it's almost like the greater purpose of, there has to be more to it than this.
Life.
And is there something else? Is there, or is there even an alternative to the way we're doing things? And,
just what else?
Yeah. Is, pain and tragedy avoidable? And obviously what what they find is they essentially happen to find all civilizations that have ended for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Which I can't tell if it's like, did you just find an unlucky pocket of the universe? Or,
or was that like, there was a cap, okay? There's 1,000 other galaxies and you checked all of them and they're all gone.
Every civilization ends. I mean, as far as we know.
Conclusion.
But I mean, like, as far as we know, in our actual world in the universe, like, whether it's just us or there's other civilizations out there, it all is finite. There has to be an end. Like, the sun expands and consumes the earth at some point. Like, civilization has to end. And she, being like the extreme empath she is, sees the ending, sees the reasons that these civilizations ended: sickness, war, stagnation, whatever, and just sees that it's pain. It's always going to end in pain. If you know you're going to do something painful, why do it? Like,
right.
And so she, like, in her own way, wanting to spare people from pain.
Yeah.
I know we're not saying anything that hasn't been discussed for 4 years at this point, but like we're recapping it for ourselves. Wanting to save people that pain, she comes to the conclusion to just avoid it altogether and just end it. Like,
yeah,
because this is,
let me save you.
Oh yeah, I thought you were telling me like, oh what?
Yeah, right. Like, I'm going to save.
Let me save you from yourself, kind of, from the pain by not having you experience anything, because she doesn't. And that's where there's a point, I forget where, but Hermes like almost realizes his mistake is sending her out to answer this question without any other knowledge or perspectives. And so that's what she sees. Pain, avoid pain. The way you avoid pain is these things just don't happen at all. He doesn't.
Right. It's yeah. She didn't get enough.
He doesn't prepare for, like, and you see it with the Warrior of Light.
Out. Yeah. You sent a kid out who just was not
super
emotionally mature or had the perspective to be able to,
And then, she encounters the Warrior of Light and the Scions who have dealt with tragedy, fallen down, gotten up many, many times over.
Yeah.
And still want to do it. It's like, she has to learn, which is like the whole
her
thing
only
of life. There is no end. Yeah, and there is no life that is perfect, painless, happiness always. Only that, like, it has to balance out. The light and the dark have to exist.
Right. Okay, let's see. Oh, I don't think he was the only one. He was just the only one with the power to impact policy. Gil is here. Gil, I hope you have left already. But it's good seeing you.
Not that we hope you've left, but yeah.
For this stream specifically. And I hope you catch up. Let's see. That's the thing, is that Hermes had extreme empathy for the fish as well. Yeah.
For everything.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys expect Medion to become the big bad? I was surprised by that.
I was definitely surprised by that.
Yeah.
Especially when you meet her.
Yeah. I was just like, it's a
Yeah, and then
whatever.
you go on like a walk with her where she's like, "Can we be friends?" Like I really like, and you see like, oh, this is like a really quirky, sensitive character.
When you think about it, it's like so sad because she's just like 7.
She's just a blank slate. Like she could be.
She's 7 years old. She has no idea. She's just like, hi.
It's like the kid who's very excited for their first day of school, and they're like, "I'm gonna make friends, and I'm gonna learn stuff, and I'm gonna do that," and they just go and get bullied and beat up, and they come home at the end of the day, and they're like, "I hate it. I never want to go back." And it's
destroy everything.
You could have had a different experience and come to a different conclusion.
Yeah. Let's see. I cried for Medion. She deserved better, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Medion was the receiver for all the sisters sent out.
Yeah. She's like a radio.
Let's see. Is there any hope in humanity, in life? I'd hug her if I could. The entire game is basically about the fighting against despair. Despair is the ultimate enemy.
Yes. Which is very interesting.
But that's the conclusion she came to.
I mean, that is... Since everything we dealt with essentially happened because of her, like, it all, like... it all ties up there.
Okay, so let's fast forward a bit, right? So we find out that Medion's on this mission.
Mm-hmm.
Hermes is the one who sent her on this mission.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in Elpis, you already have the knowledge of, or maybe you don't, but that she comes to this conclusion. And so she's the one who's responsible for this entire freaking final day situation.
And it's her and Vinay, like Vinay tries to chase her down to stop her. And that's when she escapes and she goes off to the far corner of the universe where then she like...
But Hermes is the one who like erases everyone's memories.
Yes, because it's essentially like
there's a confrontation.
He obviously has like a soft spot for Medion.
Right.
And he understands the conclusion she has come to. He almost is like, because of what he has gone through, he sees things being created and pain and death. It's like he not unwillingly, but begrudgingly, sadly
accepts.
Accepts her
He's
conclusion.
like, this is just the logical conclusion. And so I will not let anybody interrupt or mess with this very logical conclusion.
Yeah.
That she has come
I'm going to let her play it out.
Yeah. And so he deletes everyone's memories, right? Because Emmett is aware of this. Hythlodaeus is aware of this. Vanna is aware of this.
Yeah.
We're aware of this. But for some reason, we still remember. Oh, because she took us out. Vanna took us out.
Yeah. Right before he could wipe everything.
Yeah. So Emmett and Hythlodaeus don't remember. We do, though.
We do. And we go back with that knowledge of like where Medion is, what's happening, what we have to do.
Yes. And that's why Heidelin knows everything.
Right.
Because she's literally the only person who remembers. Not even Hermes remembers.
Right.
Yeah. He deletes his own memory.
Yeah.
So you leave Elpis with this knowledge and go back. And then what?
Back to the future.
You go back to the future.
And then we're coming back to the whole plan that the Loporrits were having with the
So back on Eorzea.
Meanwhile.
Yeah, right. They know the final days are coming.
So they're gonna escape to the moon.
Yes. So Heidelin, as a backup plan, created the Loporrits to create some kind of space vessel an ark
to usher humanity somewhere else.
Which is a backup plan.
A bit of a half-baked plan.
But that's what the what are they called? The Forum.
Yeah.
That was I don't know, a couple hundred years ago or whatever, they made contact with Heidelin and they were put in charge of like, you have to create a vessel, and so that's why everyone has a spell where they can't like talk about it or whatever.
Right.
And that's why Alphinaud's dad, who is kind of the bad guy in Endwalker, which was very upsetting to me because I was like, yo, you're the twins' dad. Why are you so mean?
Well, then it's because he loved them so much.
Yeah.
Right. So that's been the whole plan, which as soon as you meet the Loporrits and go in this, they're great and they're adorable, but they're just like off. Like they don't get it. The thing they made is not going to work.
They have not seen humans.
Yeah, so it's not going to work. They also have no destination. It's just hoping you find a suitable place.
There's no option.
It's a flawed plan. And everyone is like, it's not that they don't appreciate it and they even feel bad, but it's like, this is clearly plan B and shouldn't be plan A, but it's very hard to convince the Forum about that for obvious reasons, and they can't even talk about what the official plan is. So anyway, after all this, we're essentially able to convince the Forum that we should use like the shuttle ship
to go chase down
the Ragnarok instead of being a shuttle to get people to the moon. Let us use it to go find Medion and actually stop the final days, which the Loporrits end up agreeing because they start to see how much they can't save and how, like life on
there's a lot
Etheirys.
That's going to be left behind. Right.
Yeah. So they realize that it's probably good to protect all of that. The cost being, obviously, this is the one shuttle. So if it doesn't work, then there's not even a plan B because you can't get everyone to safety. But it works, and everyone's convinced to let us use the ship and go, and we do.
And I love it because that was like one of my favorite parts of Endwalker was that I felt the culmination of everyone that you've met along the way through every expansion, every tribe or society people, every main NPC, the Seed Seer,
Pirates, everybody.
Yeah, everyone is like, okay, I'll help with this thing and I'll get this resource or whatever. And I was just like, oh my god, it's so cool to see everybody like working together.
And that was a good moment too for the twins' dad to see like,
yeah, look what they.
They're not just busy. Like the kids anymore. Yeah, like literally the whole world is united behind them.
I know, it was so annoying. It was like, you're not giving them enough credit. God.
God, Dad. Ugh. Just do it.
Oh man. Okay, let's see. For Tom, in the final trial, did you notice the themes in the music's attacks and the background lighting?
Honestly, no.
I don't think I did.
mean, little bits.
Honestly, I feel like now, okay.
You did watching me do the final trial.
Yes, because when we're not, I'll speak for myself. I'm not that good at playing Final Fantasy XIV. So when I go into a trial for the first time, I'm just trying not to die. I'm literally looking at the floor. I'm like, what? Where's the AoE marker? Make sure I'm not standing there. It's very hard to pay attention to, like, you even said, like, you don't read the dialogue
I've only
boxes.
gotten to the point where I can start to read the dialogue box. I can look at the floor and read the dialogue box, and I can see like, oh, we're in space.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think he's making the connection that like the Scions are like they came.
No, I did that, but it obviously like I'm also wanting to not die. Yeah. I think I only died 5 times, but we're not even there yet because something big happens before we get to that, the trial in the last dungeon and everything.
Favorite Ascian, mine is Emmett, obviously.
Yeah, it's not even. Well, I mean, Hythlodaeus is fantastic.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's Emmett.
There was a Vina cosplay. And
there were
Emmett.
Several.
Yeah, Hythlodaeus. Actually, yeah, they were all.
There were like 3 or 4 Vinas that we saw, and there was there was no like Shadowbringers Emmett.
There was
with the streak in the hair and stuff.
I thought I
didn't see that.
Maybe
because I was like, oh, that would be a good one. You were like, that.
I swear to God, I thought I saw the coat.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't see it.
Maybe it was a Crystal Exarch. Kind of has like
there were a bunch of Grahas and a Crystal Exarch, which was very
cool. Like he had the hood and everything. Anyway, the problem with the Ancients is that they were immensely powerful creatures without the maturity that comes from personal suffering and personal expression. That, like, if you're
born super rich, you don't have the perspective.
You don't have to struggle for anything, and you are, what is it called, immortal.
Yeah, you're gonna be a little out of touch through no fault of your own
because you have nothing to compare it to. Like, there's no.
I always think of the Truman Show where Ed Harris, as like the producer, director, creator guy, is like, we accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. And I think we've talked about that on these MSQ streams before. It's true for everybody.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Well, because you don't know any other alternative.
There's no way to know an alternative.
Let's see. Reminds me of a quote from Community, to paraphrase. Life is only worth a something because it's short.
Darn.
Oh, darn, because it's short. Question. What did you think of Urianger's resolution after confronted by Minbrida's parents?
That was definitely like a tear up moment for sure. Yeah. Because it's like, he's typically one of the stronger people.
But he has been like ridden with guilt since the beginning. That's why he goes off on his solo missions. Yeah, because he's carrying the burden.
He talks to her parents and they just hug him and tell him it's okay. Oh, that was good.
They had a very high-handed, immature response to the suffering and pain that they did experience, and that's because their default was immense power and immortality.
Yes.
And did you change your perspective after you knew what she had to deal with after you fight her? Oh, I was talking about not.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, well, because it's the thing too of when she's presented in like Realm Reborn, Heaven's Ward, you think it's basically God, like all knowing, all powerful.
It's a crystal, yeah. It's like I don't know, and plus, like for me, I'm going in with like Final Fantasy knowledge. So I'm like, yeah, there's a, what is it called? Like a godlike being, a deity.
So yeah, so to find out, like, yes, she has those elements, but it's also like it was kind of just like a person.
I never thought it would come back. Like I couldn't believe when I finished playing Endwalker, and for me, I played it in 2 months. So I remembered. I think I had, like I was able to remember a lot of things that I feel like if you played it over 10 years, I feel like it was so fresh in my mind. It's like binging a TV show, right? So I remembered like every NPC, every, whatever, every connection. And I was like, every single dot is connected. And it's so awesome. Like everything is explained, even the time travel, which is like, can get a little bit dicey sometimes. It's like, oh my God, there's just an explanation that is thoughtful and makes sense. And I loved it.
Yeah. Nothing, it's not like, what is it in Star Wars? Like somehow Palpatine returned. Like there's nothing of that.
The tragedy of Hitler is that he is the first to volunteer to sacrifice himself.
He's just a good guy.
Imagine using Emmett Shadowbringer coat during summer.
Well, that's the Shadowbringer Stolas that were like, it was hot. They're outside. And they're in the full on fur coat.
The black dress
the one that they to go to Garlemald where it's freezing.
Yes, that's what they were wearing. There were multiple
in Los Angeles in July.
And like we had so much trouble finding the spots. There's one Stola that we were like kind of.
I think the best one, like the most detailed one with like
she was like walking back and forth outside. I was like, girl,
yeah. Someone went as like Beach Stola from the postcard there. It's like, yeah, that's the move because you're fine.
I remember Tom's kind of questioning her during Shadowbringers and turns to almost hate, so it intrigued me.
Yeah, and that because. And that's what I was really confused about, because Zodiark seemed to be like an actual good answer. There's crazy instability. He brought stability. Cool. And then this faction decided to like ruin it. And it's like, why though?
Right. Okay, so where were we? So you convinced the forum, and then you have to go through
Ultima Thule.
No, you go through the little.
Oh, you have to go to the center of the earth,
right? To talk to the forum used to talk to Heidel in the first place, which gave them their little super secret.
Yeah,
mission.
and you have to fight her. Of course, we have to fight to prove.
You gotta test yourself.
Yeah, test of strength. Of course. Never mind if we lose this fight, you've just killed your best hope. So maybe don't do this. And I know there's a thing. I forget. I think it's a Stormblood. Yes, it's Stormblood where there's all the different cultures and tribes and things, and you have to fight one. And Alphino's like, oh, we have to fight to like prove we don't have to fight again or something. Like, yes.
So anyway, we defeat her, and her last ounce of strength or whatever is to give you the location.
The location and the stone she gives. Oh, is that where we get the iPhones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I think,
or is that, no, who gives
Sid, I thought. Someone gives you a little teleporter.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's
thing.
Not her. She's not like a tech bro.
Yeah, she's not in the lab like engineering 3D printing a switch.
Right, but she gives us everything else we need.
Yeah, so you go to Ultima Thule.
Yeah. To confront Media.
Let's see. I'm trying not to spoil anything about the Myths of the Realm raid series. Goes even further in the Explainer of Heidelin. What's Myths of the Realm? I have no idea what that is. Yes. Oh my God. What about the dungeon beforehand where you meet past enemies and allies who have passed? Which one was that?
I'm remembering.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was that one, right?
Yeah. Because
you would walk through and it was like that's when it was like a shade of a.
Oh,
and then it was like,
yeah.
And it was like
Horsey and everybody.
Yeah. And that was cool.
And then freaking what's his name shows up, doesn't it?
Oh, freaking
Ilberd.
Oh, I was like, still, buddy, still, let it go, dude. Let it go, man. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, Cryo gives you the teleporter.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, the 24-man series for Endwalker. I feel like I started that. Is that the one with the hand? I feel like that's the one with the hand. We have a lot of raids, fun raids.
There's a lot of. I have a lot of exclamation points on my map.
Okay, so we get to Ultima Thule. First of all, your girl's favorite map.
Right. Which is funny because when you get there, it's a little dimmer, the music's a little sadder.
Every time, look, I can't even tell you. Every time Tom would go to a hockey game, I couldn't. This is pre-HJP, right? But I would just go to Ultima Thule and I would just like look around and like that's where I would just hang out. I would log in, log out from there. But I had to do it when Tom was at hockey because obviously
you would turn your monitor away like secret maps.
It's such an unforgettable map. You can't help but like, where the hell is that? Because it doesn't look like Earth or whatever.
Yeah, it's not in Gridania.
Yeah, it's not in Gridania. It's not Limsa, you know. So, yeah, what'd you think?
I mean, it is fantastic. I will say, my one complaint: the character lighting is so dark. You can't see, like, the characters are so dark in it. I want them to be bright and pop against the bright cosmic background. I know darkness suits the themes, but
maybe you need to get into your settings. I didn't think it was dark.
I mean, no, it's not my settings. It's just, and maybe tone. Maybe it's different now. Maybe like if I were to go and do stuff now, it would be different.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So the reason why Ultima Thule is so like nostalgic for me is because everyone there, right? Everyone you meet is a shade of one of these cultures and worlds that Medion found that all ended, right? And so everyone is just like super like resigned to hopelessness.
Yes.
And have just completely given up. But I remember feeling as you go in with your Warrior of Light, like you are such a breath of fresh air compared to the despair that they've just been drowning in this entire time. And you know, I remember the Aya would be like, "Oh wow, I never even thought that you could, I don't know, do that."
Yeah, you essentially have to like shift a perspective, and then that's what.
And then I feel bad because it's like, see, you did want to live, you want to eat this cake,
especially
or whatever.
The Aya, they're the ones who are like the crazy researchers, right? Like the very scientific based ones.
No.
Who's that one?
Aya they're like the white ghosty looking. They were researchers? No, I thought they just like suicidal. Like they're really excited to die.
They were, but prior to that, their society was like really based in like science and research and gaining understanding. Because that's all of their stuff is really, it's so goofy because
it's them, and then there's the Omicrons who are like the robot guys, and then there's the dragons.
Yeah. No, it is the AI, which I really love them because that was their thing. Like
they're funny.
They're trying to help you do stuff, and they're like, "Oh, we just need to die or do whatever." So there's no point doing this. But I might as well just help you with this research. While I'm here, I might as well figure out what it is anyway. Like they can't help themselves, and it's like you kind of just need to help them see like. But their point is like it doesn't matter how much we learn because everything's going to end anyway.
Yeah.
But they're like, well, I still want to learn stuff while I'm here, which is like literally the whole point. But they're
so close.
So close. You're just not making that final leap. Which is why you go each one, you know, somebody helps them shift a perspective that builds a bridge to the what's it called, and then you know that ends up in a scion sacrificing themselves to shift that perspective.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah. And so by the end, that's when
you are alone, right? Because you get to Ultima Thule with all the scions, and you are alone by the end.
Yes.
Well, I guess technically Thinker doesn't even make it.
Well, he's the first to go. Yeah. And that was this is the walk at the end of Endwalker that we're talking about.
I mean, we could talk. You want to go there?
Well, I mean, that's basically where we're at. Maybe it's not but you're going through and you're picking off scions.
I have one more thing before the walk. One of the coolest revelations for me that I was like so fascinated with, to the point where I had to dig up the encyclopedias after. Okay. Just like I was like so obsessed with this one fact, is that Midgard Swarmer is an alien.
Yes.
I was like, oh my god, that's such a cool lore thing. Like, he's not like dragons are not.
And that's what you help like
natural
them realize too, is they're like, wait, dragons actually did find a place to go, and
they had to abandon their home, and they found like Midgard Swarmer with his eggs found a new planet and has like been active participants in the history.
He's like my car now sometimes.
You have a minion.
Yeah. Here he is.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my god, that's so like what a cool. I would love to read like
I mean, it's a
lore
great
story.
Explanation of like, well, why are there dragons in this world other than like dragons cool?
But also just like he was in the same position.
Mm-hmm.
He had to his world was dying, and he didn't need a ship because obviously he could fly or whatever, and then took the eggs and left and then found another place. So it's like you're looking for evidence of all this like failure, but here's a perfect example of like someone who found an option.
But they didn't know. Yeah,
and then I was like, okay, so who was part of the original like eggs? So I had to like do a whole like family tree and first brood and the whatever's, and yeah, I love that. I just thought that was so cool. I want to read the lore on like Midgardsormr's world, which I guess is just the dragons on Ultima Thule,
which is pretty cool though.
Yeah. I think even Midgardsormr, doesn't he like when you meet the first dragon, isn't he like, oh my god, it's a homie or something? Isn't there some kind of scene of like?
There's a reference. I forget exactly what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the Scions.
Yes.
So everyone is
let's just see.
Falling apart.
Mabel said yes. That's the one with the hand.
It is the one with the hand.
And Kai said if you use duty support for the Isoscope, Think Critter, on JSN, they have all the interactions. Oh,
so you have to redo it.
More content. There's a question about. Let's save that one actually, just for sake of chronological order. After the second set of sacrifices to Zodiac, non-ancient life existed, and Vana wanted to preserve it and move on from Amaro's society. Happy Tuesday.
Hey, Ernesto.
The AI are like, our society crumbled because we learned the horrible truth. Oh, it must be bad. The heat death of the universe. I learned about that in grade school. That is true. It's like, yeah, that's where we're going. Oh, Lord.
Hey, Tin.
Tin with it. That's what she said over there. Okay, there's the walk. Oh, I guess that's the first one. Story elements in the raid series. See, I love the story elements. I just like, I'm not a raider. I'll say yet. I don't want to close the door. I don't want to say that it's not something I would ever do. It's just low on my list. It could be like cosplay at Anime Expo, something I'm not into that then becomes the highlight. Currently, I want the story and I don't want to do the raids.
I know. No, I know.
Give me the cutscenes. Give me the dialogue.
I know.
That's where I'm at with that. Although I will say everyone
because we didn't finish Omega.
No, we didn't.
No, and you didn't even do the twinning.
No.
You
haven't done Hildy though, so it's not a raid series, but it is the actual MSQ. So if I want to get done with this side quest discussion.
Dragons being alien state theorists was very interesting lore. I had theories about the dragons back in Heaven's Ward, First Brood, Midgard, Hraesvelgr, Bahamut, Tiamat, Ratchataskar, and Nidhogg. Yeah. And Vricha and Ashdaya, who we are in search of. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I freaking love that. Anyway.
Yeah, that is great.
So, the Scions are dropping.
Yeah, so this is where years ago we made the video where you were talking to me about Final Fantasy. I had no idea what anything's about, and all I knew was you had finished Endwalker and you were telling me about it at like a happy hour, and I just remember I remember in the video where I'm like the walk at the end of Endwalker was like, and I just thought that was funny because I was like, oh, I know nothing about it, but I knew Endwalker, I knew there's a walk at the end of it, and that was funny to me. So this is a thing that I have known is coming since a year ago.
Oh, so you remembered that. You remembered me saying there's some kind of walk.
There's some kind of walk. I assumed it involved you interacting with something with like past characters.
You did.
Yeah. I mean, you told me about it because there was no chance I was ever going to play this game at the time.
Oh, yeah, I kind of told him everything.
But I didn't remember the details. Like I remembered you also told me about Medion. Like she goes and looks for other things and whatever. And I was like, that was a thing that had been in my mind from A Realm Reborn. I was like, that is not happening in this game. She must have been talking about a different game. And so finally when Medion showed, I was like, oh, here it is. So all that to say, it was a little anticlimactic to me. And I'm just, based on my own experience, I think it's great. Like I'm not like, oh, it's bad or whatever. But the fact that it's like not voiced, I was very shocked by.
It is voiced.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I guess
No, it's totally voiced. It's voiced. You can hear everyone, like, that's why I was like, oh my God.
Well, when everyone disappears, you can. But then there's, I guess what it is, what I'm talking about not being voiced, especially when you're going with like the twins at the end and you go to all these different points. It's just like go to the conversation point and click the button.
Oh.
And it's not voiced. And
yeah, the walk was when you like couldn't run. And you're like, how come I can't
I was like,
run?
my keyboard's broken. What's wrong?
And then like you hear like Count Edmond and like, you know, that.
Okay, I guess maybe I was expecting, I think I was expecting a version of this. When we first get to Ultima Thule and Thancred is gone, I've been thinking he's a red shirt the whole time and he's got to die. And so when I was like, he might be dead. And then I kept playing and then I forget who the next one to go is. And I was like, oh, and then like Urianger and Stola go, and I was like, oh, everyone's got to die, which probably means they're not all going to stay dead. So and I'm not living in the moment. I'm looking at it in like from the game developer writer point of view, and especially like I was like,
you're supposed to suspend that.
One scion disappeared, and then it literally got to the point where it's like I forget. I think it was Urianger at the end. I was like, oh, also me too, and I was like, now they're killing them off 2 at a time just to like, we got to like economy of storytelling over here. So it's like, to me that did kind of. I was like, you guys are going to be gone for this whatever's coming up, but you're going to have to come back because. Yeah, and I knew it had to end with the Warrior of Light being alone, and obviously, but it doesn't mean that it's not emotional or impactful or anything.
Sure.
But it's like I felt like I kind of, for many reasons, saw it coming from many malms away.
So there was only one point in this story where, when I played it the first time, I was in full ball. Like I had to pause, walk away, collect myself.
I know what point that was.
Full ball, bro. It was not the walk.
Wait, it wasn't Graha?
Graha's not part of the walk.
To me, it all mushed together. No, I don't know.
When people say like the walk, it's that like 5-minute thing. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the build up. It's not the twins walking back. No, it's like you're walking up the stairs.
It's even
like,
less
up the thing.
Climactic to me. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's like echoes of everyone who's been
which is awesome. I love that.
Anyway, so the point where I died was not the walk. I actually was like, because I think I had heard like, oh my God, the walk or whatever. So it was
I think that's what happened to me. It got built up, and
I was like,
that's
where's the walk? But the part where I died was before, and it's when Graha turns into the damn crystal bridge, and I just died. I died because I was like you. After Shadowbringers, Graha was the homie. He was the one that I picked first. He was the duty support, the whatever. Like he was always like. All he's wanted to do.
He's our little Make-A-Wish kid. Like.
Yeah, exactly. All he's ever wanted to do was go on adventures with us, and like finally, and then like you go through Shadowbringers. There's Crystal Exarch. He's turning into the Crystal Tower. He's like turning into a crystal, and it's so like you can hear his like arm crunching and whatever, and like towards the end, it's just like crystal, okay, and then he finally turns into the tower, and like he becomes one with the tower, and then we.
Revive him.
Yeah, we take his soul, put it in his young version or whatever. But his little, he's like still of the tower, I think. In the first, right? Or maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. Then, like when you have to go up this thing and there's no thing, he turns into crystal willingly. I could not. I just couldn't.
And he still asks you to like take him with you somehow. Yeah.
You guys.
No, that was very good. But I think I was
that just killed me.
I was like, this is great. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Well, because I think by that time too, it was like he was not one of the first to go. So, but I don't know. I was just like, I think I was still like, I don't know. Are they gonna come back?
Well, for me, I was like, you could kill off a scion. You've done it before. You ain't gonna kill off all the scions. Like it just.
Well, see, there was no Dawn Trail back then, so I couldn't even like rationalize like.
Right. Which, I mean, I did have the thought. I was like, I could be wrong, and Dawn Trail is just a new game starting over, like totally from scratch, which I still don't know what the heck goes on in Dawn Trail because we're not there yet.
When you're forced to RP walk, that's the walk.
Okay.
Yeah. The economy of storytelling. Okay. let's see. Yeah, for Tom, we can unsync any of these to help you get through.
That's what I was going to say. I think with the power of HJP combined, the raid series, especially for someone who's interested in the story and not necessarily
I love this idea. Lore reading. Sprout's ultimate lore nerds. Like, just for the story.
Oh, I love that.
I would totally be on board, by the way.
Yes.
We can help you cheese all the 8-mans for the lore. Lore rating is 100% legit.
Okay, cool. See, I like this.
Does Tom know the next expansion includes walking along the trail at dawn?
I'm not even going to play it. I'm not uninstalling, unsubscribing.
I was just frustrated and wanted to rush. After the first couple, it was sussy. Yeah. The map wasn't big enough to separate Strolla and Urianche's exits. I mean, Strolla pretty much tells you they ain't gonna be dead just before she disappears.
Yeah, well, yeah, she kind of like hints and foreshadows.
Not gonna lie, the last cutscene of every expansion made me cry, and I'm sure Dawntrail will be no different. I saw the whole, they must be bringing the back thing at the same time Tom did, but that didn't stop me from freaking out when the twins left.
Yeah, it's still like harsh.
They really hyped the twins up.
Well, especially because you even promised their parents, like, I'll take care of them. They kind of died to turn into like bridges. I don't know how to explain this to you.
And I hate it. The first 2 persons were Ardbert. If you need a push, I'll be right behind you. And Horshfad, do not despair.
Yeah, those were.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, because obviously Ardbert is somebody who I gained a very different appreciation for after Shadowbringers.
Loved Ardbert. I think there was an Ardbert cosplayer. I forgot. I'm realizing
it's hard to tell because it's like, it's just a white guy. I don't.
He kind of looks like the axe
the generic
guy.
warrior of light.
No, he looks like the axe guy from Fearin.
Oh,
so I was like, you're holding a big axe. Well, are you Ardbert or
someone was at the Kugane photo thing, which doesn't mean they're 14 cosplaying, but it looked like 14, but they look like the Square Enix warrior of light.
Oh, like Meteor?
Is that his name?
The guy from the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they look like that.
That's funny. Let's see. I cheered up during the Elpis flower scene with Medion and Emmett and Hit's return. So good, yeah.
That was a really good one. Because that's when she's breaking and she's realizing like the error of her ways and
yeah, because it's in the flower field.
And that's where I was like, I really hope she turns blue again, just symbolically all the things. And yeah.
I have open room for
lore.
What is this? Ooh.
Just
cough
lore.
Just Meteor, aka John Final Fantasy.
John Final Fantasy.
Yeah, okay, so let's see.
So then there's the dungeon and the trial.
Okay, so all the scions are gone. And you walk up the thing and you see Medion? Endsinger?
Well, the trial is Endsinger, right?
Yeah. So who is the
dungeon? Was it
the dead ends? Medion takes you through all the worlds she's seen. That was so freaking cool. Oh my god!
Which is funny because like your friends are gone. Bring in some random people or no, yeah, right? Because I need people to do dead ends with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is always funny where it's like
right. No, because you could have done it with Trust.
No, because they're gone.
Oh, I guess so, huh?
I think when you beat it, then you can do it. Because I got the little notification.
Oh. Well, yeah, so you have to go through the dead ends, which is one of my favorite dungeons.
That was really cool.
Oh, just seeing all...
I was like,
yeah, so, you came to the conclusion of the final days. What the hell did you see?
Yeah,
what did you
see? Why you go to the different worlds and what they're dealing with and why they're...
That freaking solidified Endwalker is like, oh my god, this is so good. It's so good because it's like you could just, if you followed the thread for Earth to the end, it can go any of those ways.
I try not to do that.
I was like, and like even the war people, I forgot what they were called, but I was like, I could totally see that happening right now. It's like the peacekeepers and then the like global citizen, whatever they were called. And I was like, and then like when they're dying and the cutscenes are going, you're reading the lore, and it was like, I think someone said something like it wasn't supposed to be this way or whatever. We were, we were fighting on the same side. Oh my god. Yeah. You guys lost track. It was a little bit. And then that
pure fiction.
That the gold one, is that the Aya? The gold peeps? The gold like it was all gold.
Yeah, right? Is it?
I don't know if that's the Aya. They kind of remind me of the beautiful from Shadowbringers, the Sin Eaters.
Oh.
because they were, it was like gold and white.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of
It was
that.
very. I remember saying like, "Oh, this is really pretty," and you were like, "This is so hard" or something. I was like, "But it's pretty."
Well, yeah, because then it was like, Medion, she's like narrating as you're going through, and she's like, here's how I came to the conclusions. Like, I saw this. They are literally crying out for help. Like even the squid guys, like their world got so infected or whatever.
Yeah.
They like mutated, and they had to wear like the, like, what is this? Like the diving suit.
No, like a gas mask kind of thing.
Yeah. And then there was even like, it's because their society advanced so much that they were like, they just couldn't stop, and then it ended up becoming toxic. And it just, the whole world just like melted, and then everyone's like suffering and mutating and turning into zombies and stuff. And it was just
begging to
like,
die, yeah.
Yeah, and then so like every world that she goes to, everyone's begging to die, and so she's like, all right, so we're just, before you even get to the suffering part, we're just gonna.
Yeah, so it's like I'm gonna spare you from even going through this.
Yeah. Okay, so you do the dead ends.
We do that. The dead ends have different worlds than those showcase. Yeah,
the otter guys. Yeah, freaked me out because I kept thinking.
Me too.
And
I mean the timing of the release too. If you played it, I played it 2025. You played it when it came out. It's maybe a little even more.
Was it? No, it was. I can't remember. Was it?
It's kind of during. It will like late.
Late.
It depends on when you think like what your timeline is.
The weapons refrain ultimate. The weapons refrain. Dead ends, then Endsinger. Yeah. Okay, so your friends are back at dead ends. Let's see. Because before Emmett tells you to call them back just before you go to the dead ends, which was an emotional moment for me. Okay, we're gonna talk about this at the end.
I would say that's a hard one.
They were the white bubble people.
Yeah.
The dead ends have different worlds than showcased in Ultima Thule. Oh, okay. Do the Endwalker gather allied society?
I want to do all the society ones. Those are some of your favorite. Which one? Because which one is it? Is it the Aya?
It's technically, well, is it the Omicrons?
Oh, that's right. You were telling me.
It's the cafe. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. I don't know how many I've done. How many allied society quests I've done. I've done a couple.
A lot, yeah.
That one's my favorite.
Really?
It's so good. It's like all in Ultima Thule, so it's just gorgeous. Oh my God. Oh, they were telling me to go this side on Ultima Thule, that side gathering. I was like, hell yeah, just send me on these like.
And like Charlotte, where it's like, go here, you can't fly yet. Oh God, I have to go to the round.
Okay, so, Endsinger.
So then that's the final trial.
So let me tell you, I played Endsinger when Endwalker came out. It took us, I don't even know how many times.
I was so grateful.
No one knew what the hell they were doing. Nobody knew. And of course, like, I don't want to play with other people. You have to play with other people. Then I'm in a party with other people. No one knows. We're just wiping. Like, we cannot.
That probably would have been the end for me. I'm like, well,
I think
close enough.
I mean, obviously I did it, but I just remember no one can make sense of the patterns. Like, nothing. It was just insane.
I played with HJP people. I died 5 times. Yeah. I don't know if anyone else even died.
Even now, I'm like, what is she? She's like recording the planets and the things going backwards, and then it's hitting from over here, and then the freaking
it's a lot. I'm just trying
constantly
to not step in the orange.
It's a really cool, like, playing with you. I was able to like try, start looking at
re-going through the whole game with me. You're like, oh, this, like, you're picking up. It's like watching a movie for the second. You see a lot more, which. I know that. I know, like, going through the first time, I'm not picking up every detail. I'm not even trying to. Like, I need to get the main points, and then that's when you can go back and, like, fill in some blanks and re-explore things and redo things.
Yeah. That soundtrack. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm telling you, every time I go to Ultima Thule, it just hits. I want to mention how when we got the teleport at the beginning, I thought, if things got bad enough, I could theoretically press this and throw mine away if I need to stay and fight a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. They're not going to introduce that if it doesn't get used.
I forgot about
it. They do wait a long time. They do a good job of like. I
completely forgot about it. And even when the beep is happening, like it's echoing in, I'm like, what is that? Kadoosh, it like drops on the floor. Oh, that's cool. I see what you did there.
Wait, are you talking about when we send the scions away, or
No, like
when
after
they
Zenos.
bring us back.
After Zenos, the little like thing falls and you leave him and you teleport out.
Before that, though, you send the Scions because the Scions come back.
Yes.
The Scion, they're revived. They come back.
Oh, and that's where you push their button?
Well, of course, it's like we're all gonna fight together. We're gonna do this, and the Warrior of Light is like,
peace.
Absolutely not. Like, you are all going back to safety.
I don't know how, like, because they show up in that fight, and I don't remember like how or why.
I think they like overpower
friendship.
Yeah, the power of love. But yeah, and that's a move where they're like, "Don't you dare!" And you're like, "Boop," and it's like, "Oh," and they're like, and it's just you.
Okay, so we defeat Medion. How does she come around? You remember?
Wait, where are we at?
We defeated Endsinger.
Okay, we're at the end of Endsinger. And this is when Medion finally gets to turn blue again.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, that's where she essentially realizes there's a lot she didn't know or understand. And she was like, she was full of despair, but then she realized she was like wrong.
Yeah. And
it's very tragic because she spent kind of a lot of time working on this.
And I think that's the scene that Atlas is talking about is like on that flower field.
Yes.
Emmett's there, Hermes is there, the Deus were there. I think the Scions are there. Yeah, because Emmett's talking to the Scions. Because he's even saying, like, did you check under the mountains of Mirror City or whatever it is?
That would be after Dead Ends then.
I don't remember.
Yeah, well, it's in one of those points.
Yeah. So she comes around, and all is well.
No, sorry. That's after Dead End.
We missed a whole big thing here.
This was a part where I had to stop and go out. You were in the kitchen. I had to go out and be like, I can't believe what just happened. That's happened. Like, see, and this is. There have been 2 times where I am literally like, there have been surprising moments, but I think, it's almost like watching The Godfather at a certain point where it's like, wow, there's a horse head in the bed. That's crazy. It's more like, oh, this is where the horse head is in the bed. That's kind of how a lot of this playthrough has felt for me. Like, that's happening. This is happening here. Well, when you watch something that's so well known and so popular,
okay,
when you're watching it, it's almost less surprising and more like, oh, this goes here and that. Oh,
this is this reference.
Yeah,
that people have.
That's what a lot of my experiences meant. There have been 2 times where I had to stop and go like, I'm sorry, what? The first one is on a stream, and it's when we realize Gaius has like kids. I'm like, wait, father? Like, there's the stream. Like, hang on, hold on. That was something I had didn't know, and I think that was a surprise to you because you hadn't done.
I hadn't done it.
Yeah, that was cool. And the second one was all this is happening.
I can't remember how it happens.
All that I know is Zenos shows up, which of course is like, he's a huge problem throughout all of Endwalker, and his whole thing is he just wants to fight the Warrior of Light. He needs his final battle, and he needs you to be in your ultimate rage thing. And it's like, it's pushed off just enough to like kind of forget about it. And even in my mind, I was like, I know we have to deal with it, but like, can we just not?
See, like, I think I was so caught up in like the Medion
thing
that
they did a very good job of that.
I forgot. And I was like, what?
Yes, and that's why I was like, so Zenos showed up
as freaking dragon.
Yes, and he's like
Shinryu.
He's like, so this is your greatest foe. Like, why does it still live? Like, why is it here? And then that's when, see, this is even the thing, like the final trial clicking of like the whole trial takes place on Zenos. Like, that didn't even click until after. I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's why this is happening, because of course it wraps up. You finish the trial
on Zenos,
but wait, there's more, and now Zenos finally gets.
So you wrap all that up, and then Zenos is like, I'm not, let's finish this.
Yeah, and so you have to do the final fight, which I had a thought about, but it was escaping me what it was.
You're just so in shock.
It was like, I think part of me, I was very much expecting like, this has to be tied up. everything is tied up. They're so good at like everything connects, everything is tied up. So I was like, we have to fight him. It makes sense. But after doing the dungeon, this insane trial, to then have like a duty, I was kind of like, oh, part of me did kind of hope, and this would have been a bold story choice, was that this is the thing he's been doing. He's getting there, and it's almost like by the time he's ready to, it doesn't even matter anymore, and it doesn't happen. Like, you are, the thing you have put your whole existence into is literally pointless and just doesn't happen. Which I think could kind of be interesting.
There's no way they're going to do that in 14.
I know. And I know
the
that.
guy who wants to fight in a fighting game, like you're going to fight the guy.
But I did have the thought of, if you're going to make this bold story leap, the very end of Endwalker, like the first arc wrapping up, concluding, it is kind of the place to like, when I think they kind of do a version of it where it is, and this is, I know Cirilla had a thing, the two of you are lying there at the end, and then the teleporter shows you just teleport away, and it's just Zenos by himself. It's very like...
So, okay, when I first did Endwalker, I wanted a New Game Plus so bad because I wanted to redo that fight so bad. Because same thing. Like, I didn't know that there were, a set number of revives that you get or whatever. So,
I was like, cool.
I want to do it like flawlessly, and I didn't know about New Game Plus. I didn't know that you couldn't just like redo that. You had to redo the whole freaking like, part of it. So I was like, okay, I never did it. But I was like, I was not happy with my fighting performance.
I didn't know the revive. I was like, oh, we keep getting to 1-8 and coming back. I was like, cool. I didn't know there was a little counter like tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, I didn't know.
To be fair, I got pretty far, the first
right?
time. Because it's like there's like 3 stages, and I got like, I don't know, most of the way through the last one.
So,
and then I wiped.
And then you wiped. But after playing Endwalker, I went on YouTube, and this is fresh out of, when Endwalker just released. And I was like, I need the discussion. I need
the MSQ stream.
Yeah, I need this. I just need to like talk about it with someone. I need to know what people think of it and whatever. And the running theory at the time was that Zenos is talking to you, the player. Like breaking the fourth wall and like telling you like, was it worth it? Are you having fun? Like, you just fight constantly. So like, oh, so you're playing games. You're just like looking for an escape or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I kind of dig that. I don't think that's I
didn't have that thought for a second. And I don't know if that's...
I don't think that that's I haven't seen that.
To me, that actually was very on theme for... And, so then it ties it into Medion's whole thing. Because Zenos is like, you've gone through so much, and you just keep going. Like, is it worth it? And that's the whole answer, is yes.
Yeah.
And if you're just looking at the pain and the losses and everything, of course you would want to avoid that, but you have to look at everything else, and that's what Medion failed to do, and that's even what Zenos fails to do.
Yeah. But I feel like Zenos does have like an acceptance of how his life was, of just like, he talks about like, oh, you're the warrior of light. You've gone through like adventures or whatever. I only had this very specific Garlean royalty, life. And so I was not driven by anything else, like he just didn't have that like chance.
Well, they do then the fatal mistake. We've been here before. You leave, the body's still there conscious when the scene ends.
Is it though? I mean,
unclear. But unclear.
We don't even know.
The most recent cutscene, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. The most recent cutscene I have seen, literally like the last time I played yesterday.
There's no way Zenos is coming back, man.
Somebody shows up with a giant Reaper thing. You can't see the face, and they're like,
there's no way. There's no way.
I don't know. This is where it's fun because we get to speculate, and you don't even know either. Sorry.
Okay, let's catch up with comments. Let's see. The Scions are sent to safety, and then the Endsinger was sending them into the void of space. I was wishing my character would do that, and then they did. When I did Endsinger, my whole party was crying from what we just went through and could barely see the fight through our tears. We didn't want to leave at the end of the fight. Oh my God, that's adorable. I love that.
Good. That's top tier.
I felt like she was accepting that despair is a part of being real. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Despair.
It's almost even like
you need that in order to feel.
I mean, we don't have kids, but as a parent, I assume you want to protect your children from any kind of pain and discomfort, but like you can't.
And
it's not even that you can't, you shouldn't.
Well, the thing to me is like you can't feel accomplishment and being
you
proud
can't feel
of
the highs without the lows.
Yeah, you how do you
you can't have light without dark.
How do you level up without going through the the fights? You have to.
Yeah, you have to. But from that point of view of like I'm empathetic and I want no one to feel despair and pain.
What is that? Hedonism? Or like if you're just happy all the time. If you're just happy all the time, then you end up being bored. Like you don't.
Yeah, well, then you get like malaise and apathy and stuff.
Yeah, which is what I think some of the societies ended up happening. Emma doing content advertisements right before content advertise. Oh yeah, content.
Wait, what?
It was so clear to me that the developers were worried that the fandom was like, there's nothing to look forward to.
You have more adventures or something. I think the end of.
He was like, "Have you checked this continent or whatever?" And I was like, it was so like I noticed
fourth wall breaking. Yeah. Well, then it makes sense why people would be like, he's talking to the player, right? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, he shows up as a dragon and you fight the Endsinger on his back. He
looks
at you, looks at the Endsinger, and is like, "You haven't killed this thing yet?"
Yeah, why does it still live is really funny.
Zenos is so funny, not gonna lie. Bro does not give up.
Yeah.
What did you pick as the dialogue option when he asked you to fight? I don't remember what the dialogue
options were, but I would remember what I picked.
A test of your reflexes. A lot of people wanted that to be an option, but no, you have to fight him. I wanted to fight your face. Saw someone make a comparison where we as people are Zenos, the player, and the Warrior of Light is like the extra stuff, story, music, background, ambient, environment, etc. Let's see. It's kind of poetic. The teleporter exists because people cared enough about you to build one and give it to you, and the teleporter appeared already activated because you cared enough about the others to use it. Wow.
Circle of life.
Let's see. So you were loved and loved others, and that saved you while Zenos was left behind. Yeah, no one saved his ass.
He didn't get a teleporter.
I had Heather's thought too at the time. Let's see. Mania. Hey, Tom and Heather. Hey, what up, church? All right. So where are we?
Well, we're
Zenos. We come home. Yay.
So we come home. Like, I mean, final days have been averted.
Yeah, so you push the button, you wake up in the Ragnarok.
Yeah, and we're already home.
Yeah.
There's a grand homecoming. There were already like bad things happening on Theris, so it wasn't like nobody was hurt or anything. But
yeah, Rads was
the actual final days were averted. Obviously the Scions are heroes. Everything's great. And then the Scions disband.
I was like, no.
Disband. Well, I was just, no. I wasn't even mad at that because I was shocked that they were all still alive. So
I was so sad.
Years ago, when you told me about the walk at the end of Endwalker, what I had assumed in my mind the whole time was that you do encounter characters that have died throughout the story. But I kind of assumed it was going to be like everybody. And so I was playing a lot of the game thinking like it would be all the Scions dying. Which is why every expansion I'm like, who's going to die in this one? Who's going to die in that one or that one? And I'm like, how is everyone still here at the end of this one? And so that is what I thought it was going to be, which maybe is why I was like expecting it to be a little more impactful. Because once I realized like, no, they have to come back, I wasn't, I was a little less stressed about it. And so when you go back and you're at like Rising Stones and everybody's there, but now they're talking about disbanding. I was bummed, but I was just happy to see all of them standing.
Everyone is alive
in one piece.
Home. Yeah.
And then they make it very clear, like, oh, we're disbanding, but like, and they all have their plans. And it's, you get to kind of you get to sort of wander.
Dude, I don't know. I must have played when there was no 6.1. Because I remember I was like, oh my God, that's it. There was no like.
Yeah, I could just
Tatara
dive
was just
right in.
Standing there. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, where is Elfino? Where is everybody?
Yeah, that would be hard. I'm glad
and
I didn't have to do that.
And then I think 6.1 came out, and then I was like, okay, yeah, because I could watch a live letter for the first time. So I watched a live letter for 6.1.
Yeah, like instantly you're like, well, we gotta go find, like, I forget where you go, but you instantly start getting everyone back. Not every, but yeah, you have to go get like 4 of the scions back together.
Yes, Zenos rejected love for conflict. He's a broken man.
Yeah.
Fun. Congrats, Tom.
Hey.
Sorry I'm late. All good.
Thank you.
So I think it was Cirilla who asked the question. Okay, we did this one.
We kind of, we sort
feel
of
bad about Zenos dying there alone in the empty space, or happy he's finally gone.
I mean, I think that was really good. I do think that was good storytelling, because whether I questionable whether he's really gone, because again, I need to see the freaking body, which that's even what happened last time.
Matter, though, because
we've been down this road.
Yeah, just
exactly. So I don't have confirmation, but the whole thing, him being so huge and epic and all the stuff, and literally just like you're just alone in this void, and nobody cares, no one even knows you're here.
But I don't think he. I don't
think he. But it just shows like,
because he doesn't even know what it means to feel love. So it's like you're just
the whole time there's a thing that's
in bliss because he finally fought you.
A thing that is interesting with Endwalker though is you have like literally like the highest stakes you could possibly have, and then like the smallest, pettiest stakes you could have with him.
That's why I hated him.
And they're going back and forth.
I literally have the biggest job to do right now, and you just want to go like throw blows right now. You're so irrelevant.
Yeah,
like,
and that's
so annoying to me.
That ending to me drives that home. Like,
right.
Like you are an item on the to-do list. It's not.
Dang, that's a diss. Ooh, you're an item on the to-do list. Ooh, you're a task.
Could be a pickup line.
Wow. Wow. Hey, no. I'm not saying it. Okay. I think Sterla asked, did you?
Oh, Shadowbringers or Endwalkers?
Yeah.
This is hard. I have thought about this. I think I have to lean Endwalker for just like.
Wow. I didn't think you were going to say that.
So.
I didn't think you were going to say that. I thought you were going to say Shadowbringers.
Asterisk. The thing that's hardest to do is wrap things, is to stick the landing. Like you always say that. And they did.
They stuck the landing so well.
And so I think that has to give the edge to Endwalker, because they stuck the landing. And when you think about how freaking... Okay, so when I really liked Stormblood, which I do still think Stormblood is great, one of my favorite things about it was that it like expanded the world. Right. And you saw these different things. And obviously Shadowbringers takes that further, and the Endwalker like doesn't just go past the fin, like it's just like boot boot, like it's huge. And so I like the breadth of it, and the fact that it does wrap things up and it does stick the landing. And if that were the end, if that was like you finish the game, done, we're not putting out any more expansions, like it would work.
Yeah,
I think I have to give credit for that. Shadowbringers though, for like I really like, it was very big and expansive, but it still felt so like tight and well done, and it did answer so many questions, but raise questions, and it was such a direction that I didn't expect things to go, but made so much sense. Like it's if they were movies,
hands down my favorite.
Yeah, if it were movies though, I think I might find myself watching Shadowbringers more often than Endwalker. But I think I liked Endwalker more. I don't know if that even makes sense, but
yeah, I just really hated going to the first. I remember when I loaded up Shadowbringers, we're not even home. What is this? And like, I get it. I love Shadowbringers, but yeah, it was okay. I remember through one of the many happy hours when I was like, oh my god, this game is so good, Endwalker, blah blah blah. One of my favorite things was that I loved sci-fi, and I loved that Endwalker was able to be multi-genre by including the sci-fi aspect, going to different worlds and like just what ifing, you know, like look at this culture. What if there was a culture that was this? What if there was a culture that was that, or whatever? And I don't know. It was so cool. It really scratched a different itch of like, okay, A Realm Reborn, Heaven's Ward, Stormblood. It's just war. It's just war. It's like the dragons and the humans, or the what are they called? Elzen and Stormbless, Garlemald, and everybody else, and and then just Shadowburn's just like another world or whatever. But I felt like Endwalker does that thing that a lot of sci-fi does, which is ask those existential questions, the philosophical, like, why are we here? And I loved it. I just loved, and there were so many different answers. It's like this society did it this way.
There's room for interpretation and discussion and stuff.
I loved it.
Very, very cool.
And I was just sitting here by myself, like thinking about it. No one to talk to. I couldn't even talk about it with my brother because he hadn't finished it.
Yeah.
Sucked. Now you get to do the MSQ stream.
Now you get to do the MSQ stream. And we are caught up together.
Yeah. Let's see. You're an item on the to-do list. Top 2025. Let's see. Did you realize that Estinian joined as Scion and Endwalker, but they disbanded right away after? Kind of funny. He's just in Scion's community for only a small bit. I love that he's just like a mercenary for hire kind of thing.
Yeah, but he's like,
because it's like you have this legendary Azure Dragoon title. What does the Azure Dragoon do when he retires? Yeah, you're gonna be like a bodyguard,
right?
Yeah, I dig that. See, that's a confirmed kill.
Well, okay. There was a comment.
He did leave a body last time, and he still came back. Yeah, saying the body means nothing in this game.
I forget. I think was it somebody? Yeah, Pepper said the coroner certified Zenos' death, but subsequently his rape was
That's robbed. True.
That's why I'm like, it doesn't.
For the same guy.
Like, I need to see you like disintegrate into irrecoverable ether or whatever.
I had the same debate. I decided to like Shadowbringers most, but Endwalker had the harder job being an ending, which made it super impressive. I have to rewatch the VOD, but I love the Elpis section so much. Me too. I love the Elpis
I loved
section.
seeing the real version of everything and not
the thing that you've been trying to get back to this entire time.
Yeah.
What is it? Like, what is this perfect,
it's not
uncharted thing? Yeah. I know, it's awesome. Endwalker is indeed a conclusion of 10 years epic saga of Hydaelyn and Zodiark, so it makes sense.
And that is such an accomplishment.
What up, Lucy?
Yeah, I was actually surprised that there was like, especially at the end when there's like the welcome.
She just waves.
Yeah, I was like, you kind of like worked here for a while. Like it is interesting. You just sort of like peace out over there.
Yeah. Yeah, huh? She should have had like more voice lines, like more active role, like with the forum and stuff.
Yeah.
She doing things, Let's see. New MSQ for 2 drops when?
MSQ for 2? Oh, I love that.
MSQ for 2.
That's cute. So here's the question though. This is a genuine question. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe people could help us. How do we do this? How do we play the game? Because we can't like
you turn on the PlayStation.
Yes, I understand but I mean like we can't do like we've done the streams together where like literally we're trying to match up our dialogue and stuff. We cannot play like that because that
would drive me crazy. Yeah.
Yes. How do we do this? What do we do?
I don't know. What's you know what? We can be on this journey together.
Yeah.
So how do you want to do it?
I mean, I feel like.
What's your fancy?
My fancy is that we play when we want to play. Whether that's together or solo.
So you don't want to be held back.
I don't want either of us to be held back.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the middle of building this HJP thing.
Yeah, and so
I don't know if I'm going to be able to dive into MSQ right now.
A thing that has happened a number of times throughout my playthrough, which it did take almost a year, was there have been points where I reached things and it was like, wait, pause there for any number of reasons. Sometimes I needed to pause, take a break for like life and work and stuff, but other times it was like, no, you can't. We have to do this, but that's not going to happen until this date, and then there's this event, whatever. And so it's felt very like start, stop. And the idea of just being able to like, I can just play and like play and then stop and then play and stop. It sounds so good.
Like, okay, to be real, I don't think that you should wait for me because I have a feeling that you're going to have more time to play than me.
So what this means, I mean, I think ultimately it's kind of a thing like this.
Like if you get to a point where you're like, we need an MSQ discussion right now, catch up so we can do this.
Like I will not be starting Dawn Trail until like I want us to like start Dawn Trail together. That is important to me. But getting through the patches or whatever. I mean, unless you're like, I'm going to do that next year or something, then I'm like, well,
no,
see
I mean,
you
I
at
don't
the
have
Dawn. But
I don't have a timeline.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so I think that's my thing is I would really like us to start Dawn Trail together because neither of us know what to expect at all.
I have no
which
idea.
is great.
Well, actually, so we always ask that, and we always ask that question. What do you think is the next expansion is about?
Okay.
Do you have any idea?
I don't because so we're both at now, and this was what I was going to say. If we play like this, potentially the next MSQ stream, I don't know when that would be. It could be sort of flipped where like you have caught up to a thing I already was aware of. I guess it doesn't matter because we sort of did it at the same time. It wasn't like I did it 2 years ago. I could ask you questions though, potentially.
No, yeah.
Like I could play through a thing and be like, oh, I wonder what she's going to think about this.
Yeah.
And then say like,
that's
never happened before.
I like that you're
it could
so
happen with
excited.
Hildy. I want you to go through Hildy, the real MSQ. But I don't know. Traditionally, in the patches, what if there's 5? Usually goes through 5.
Yeah, 0.5.
And so usually it's like the first 3 are kind of like epilogue-ish.
Of Endwalker.
And then it transitions into the next thing. And so everything we're doing now seems like it would still be. I mean, it's interesting because it's not really. It is epilogue-y, but it is starting a new thing because it was such a conclusion.
Yeah.
So we are like figuring things out.
Slice of life conclusion.
Yeah. So it already there are things building up, but I don't know if those are pre-Dawn Trail like sparks or if it's like I don't know where we're at. So I don't know. What I do know.
What do you know?
The closest thing to a spoiler is at Anime Expo when they did the cosplay contest.
Oh my god!
There were I don't know how many people were in that.
A lot. Yeah.
100?
I don't know. It seemed like a lot.
A lot of people were in the cosplay contest, like specifically,
up,
which also was at 5 p.m. So that means they had to
they had to
be in their top form at 5 p.m. And then they were doing group photos and they were doing like, okay, all of the scions, all of the DPS,
all the healers, crafting gathering, NPCs, enemies.
Yeah,
bosses.
And then they did expansions.
Yes.
Because there could be multiple. There were like multiple Thancreds, but it's like there was
ARR Thancred.
There was one person who was in the ARR photo, and it was OG Thancred.
And he did all the poses too. Yeah, it was like perfect.
And then there were. I think Shadowbringers had the most.
Yeah.
Which was
there was a lot of Heavensward.
There were a lot of really good Emmerichs. Shadowbringers had the most. Endwalker had a lot, and then there was a Dawn Trail group.
And I straight up looked at Tom. I was like, "Do we look?"
Yeah, there were like 7 people, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
And then this one guy said, "Should I go up? At what point in the story do I go up?" And I looked at.
I don't know who the guy was.
I looked at what he was wearing. I was like, I don't recognize that character. Does somebody turn?
I don't know what's happening.
Do we have a traitor in our midst?
I don't know what's happening.
So I didn't recognize anybody.
I also could not make hide nor hair of like what was happening based on it because.
Oh yeah, because then
there seems to be a heavy disco theme.
So the things that I have seen just accidentally have been like the like cyberpunky,
very cyberpunky,
not steampunk,
cyberpunk.
Yeah, like futuristic. I see you guys in your little suits,
lots of neon Tron kind of stuff,
like the Tron bikes and stuff. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, where's that in Eorzea?
Yeah, so I have no idea.
I have no idea. I have heard a lot, and this is just like reading YouTube thumbnails, but there's a character named Wook Lamont, I think.
I know nothing.
Who is very controversial. A lot of I don't know what the controversy is, but I hear a lot of controversy about that character. And
I don't want to know any.
That is the extent of what I know. Yeah. That's it. I don't
want to know more than this though. It's
I don't
great.
know if the scions are in it. I don't know. Are we still at the Rising Stones? Are we? I have no
I know
idea.
nothing.
Is it about dragons?
Are we at a different reflection? Do we go?
Well, I mean, I did see the trailer, so
I guess I'll watch the trailer. Well,
and then I see, when I go into 14, I see the free company. I see everyone. You guys are logging in and out in unpronounceable town names. Like I don't know, a lot of apostrophes. But yeah, I don't know what the plot is.
Yeah, no idea, and I'm so excited about that.
Yay!
I'm really, really excited about that.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Oh, what's a TLDR? Just turned on the discussion at this point.
We both canceled our subscriptions, and I'm just gonna go back to The Sims.
Let's see. Since I took that break during Elpis, I had this conspiracy theory that the dangerous creature that you had to help unmake was secretly a previous incarnation of Zenos, but no, I was just projecting. Maybe alternate who streams it and just don't do MSQ without the other. I wouldn't mind streaming it, but not the whole thing. Just like, I feel like streaming.
Oh, just whenever?
Yeah. It's cool. Are you excited about new Hildy? I mean, it's the first thing he did.
Yeah, I can now end my play with, especially if something intense happens, I can then go end it with a Hildy. Again, finally, thank God. Which has been great. Like, I guess I don't want to spoil things, but you am not there. You have to find Hildy, and how you find him, where you find him is just phenomenal. It's so perfect. It's so absolutely perfect. And it even ties... I
love how much you love Hildy.
It's so good. It's so good. And it even ties in...
Look at your glee.
A little Easter egg. It's been really great so far. And
wow.
But I'm going to hit the thing where I could be wrong, but I think Hildy gets locked right as you go through you have to go through the patches, do the thing. I don't remember. So
I just know that those are the weapons in Endwalker.
I haven't gotten to that yet.
Look amazing, and I need all of them. So I am at Heaven's Ward Hildy. So I
definitely feel like the Hildy storyline, from what I've seen so far, is becoming more relevant. Obviously,
to the MSQ. It's not
obviously
just like a side thing.
It's like all the things. You don't have to do it. You can do the MSQ, but it seems like it's becoming. I see like they did take several expansions off to level things up a little bit. And I just love it so much. I love it so much.
Oh, this is cute. You can pass me and you plan the milestone parties for me.
We could flip it.
This is different. It's the conclusion already finished. Now the patches are just your newfound adventure.
Right. Yeah, it is literally, that is the title I got. I finally ended Newfound Adventure, and we have to go find
I've had that title since forever, since I finished. Yeah. I can create an HJP event around starting Hildy Quest together. I haven't done...
What?
Cirilla, you haven't done Hildy? Okay, what am I talking about? I've only done ARR Hildy, but still.
Do I need to guide people through this? Do I need to be the mentor or whatever?
The shepherd?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He can't even deal. Look at him.
I have like a physiological reaction to this.
Okay, so you guys know how you're all like, you have to do Sorrows of Werland, no mega raids and blah. He's like, you need to do Hildy.
Yeah, you gotta do the Hildy quest. Like, what? Huh? What? I can't even.
Oh my God, that's so funny. It's such a part of the game for you.
It is the game for me. It's such a great, like, you can also do this in this world, and like it's such a, you see the,
look at you.
You see the developers, the writers, the animators
I'm gonna need
doing things they can't do anywhere else.
The Tom Buck YouTube video on Hildy.
I'm not fully caught up yet, so
I need to see that.
Oh my God.
Glad you've been able to stay away from most stuff. Will be great to start Dawn Trail fresh and unspoiled. Yeah. A bit more Hildy story came out with each patch.
Okay, so that's what I keep expecting. Like, I don't want to blast through it too much, because then I'm gonna hit the like you can't go any further.
Is the new Hildy content as good as you remember? Hopefully the content is just as good as previous Hildy quests from former expansions.
I mean, I finished, like, I've gotten like the credits once. I would say it's stronger. Because it's so
oh,
good,
God,
though.
Look at you. Do you need...
It's so good. It's all so good. Yeah.
I feel like I need to start Hildy over because I started the Heavens Ward. You know, like I met Vivi or Gigi, but I don't remember it. So I think I mean,
my worry with you, especially because we have different tastes, and like my worry is that it might be too goofy for you. But it's like it's such a breath of fresh air in this world to see that, and it's so clever. It's so clever.
The Hildy stuff is so fun. I just finished the last one for Dawn Trail. Do it. He got a rash. Go, Tom. I just made a picture for Tom. Just posted it in Discord.
Okay.
I still need to do the Dawn Trail one, but I haven't physically found where it is. I love the Hildy questline. He said it out loud. Guide me, Tom. I have no idea who Hildy is.
Oh.
You're gonna love it, Cyrilla.
This must be how people feel like when like they find a sprout who's just like, I'm like, all right, okay, let's do this. We need an event. Like, what do we need? Like,
yeah, now you gotta make the HJP event.
Yeah, the weekly Hill Day.
The Hildy Hill Day.
Yeah, the Hildy Hill Day.
Oh,
Hill Quest.
Yeah, you are flabbergasted. You can't.
Well, it's just I assume everyone who's caught up in HJP has done like when they log in, there's no exclamation marks on their maps, nothing. Like it's just
no.
I am completion done.
No.
Which I will say, I don't know how accurate since I play on the Xbox. They kind of changed the interface a little bit on like your menu and stuff, and now it gives your completion. It says I am 22% complete.
I know based off of.
I know it's not based off, but I think it's pretty crazy that you can literally finish the whole main story over the course of a year.
100%?
Probably nobody. But maybe somebody does. But I think it's pretty impressive. You can complete the main part and be 22%.
We need to do the event now. The Endwalker relics being related to the Hildy storyline was so fun. Yes, this is what I know. Tom has already entered his emotional vampire for Hildy era.
Yeah,
I have so many blue quests.
Same.
Yeah. Everyone has.
But to me, that's great because that's where it's like you can just.
I think it's because you guys make it seem like you know everything about 14, and so you have this impression that like everyone's veterans. Everyone's you've been doing this 10 years.
There were a few, I will say, in Endwalker. There were a couple like gold exclamation quests, like the very optional ones that I did follow through just because they're the whole thing was Shaggles.
Oh yeah,
because my only quest for a long time was like Endwalker, and then like the other one was like meet with Shaggles.
So Shaggles is a troll.
Yeah, in a few senses.
So Endwalker is the one that made me cry. It's also the one that made me pass out. Because let me tell you about Labyrinthos. My God. That was...
Oh, yeah. God, that's tedious. But there's a whole other one I found where it's a kid and he thinks that there's a problem with the artificial sun and no one believes him. And you have to like... It's maybe like 4 quests to like figure this out. And it's not related to anything, but it was so fun and so interesting that I was like... It was one of those things where I was like, well, I kind of want to know what happens next. And so what I love about having like the maps full of available quests is like I know there's just tons of that kind of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, just
so much backstory.
Whether it fills in a blank, I know there's a really good ones where it's like this raid series or whatever. This fills in MSQ and this adds to it. Like Warlit with the whole Gaius thing really did add a lot. But I also know there's a bunch that it's just like world building.
So you know what I'm doing right now? I'm doing a you know how the Moogles are in charge of the mail?
Yeah.
So back in ARR, there is a quest line to like help them with the mail.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
That's like the most recent like solo quest line I've been doing, and it's so charming.
Everything with the
so
Moogles,
cute.
yeah.
It's so like, it really just it fills in the world. I don't know. I love it.
Yeah.
The kid in the sun.
It was really fun. That one's really fun because what struck me about it was it's a kid asking for help with something, and you're
what
like
AFAIK.
As far as I know.
Oh, ever? Dang.
I mean, that makes. How would you really? But what's interesting with that is the kid. Like, first you're one of the few people who actually talks to him like a person and not like a kid. And so
Shaggles?
No.
Oh,
Shaggles has different communication issues. The kid that's what's interesting. And he has a serious problem, and you finally take him seriously, and then he's really like, he even offers to pay you because he's like, I need to pay you to help me do this stuff. And like, no, it's good. Like, oh, whatever. He's like, no, like you have to let me actually pay you. Like, stop treating me like a child that can't like don't help me because I'm a kid. Help me because this matters. And it's like very interesting.
Wow.
Shaggles. The thing with Shaggles is when you first meet him, it's in Labyrinthos, and it's one of the most annoying quests because it's literally like, you can't fly and go from one corner to the other 15 times. You're like, freaking Shaggles. Oh my God.
I know. And I remember in Labyrinthos, when you can't fly, you have to like go through the tunnel cave things.
So many times. And that's the thing with Shaggles is I was like, his name is Shaggles, and he's just like, you're just like, oh my God. And finally it ends. And I remember like, cursing Shaggles. And it ends, and then it turns from, I think it's one of the quests you have to do to get an ether current. So of course they're going to really make you feel the pain of the map. And so finally that ends, and I'm like, I'll never see you again, Shaggles. And the little like gold exclamation marks. I'm like, seriously, there's more freaking Shaggles? Are you kidding me? And then I ended up following it, and it is fantastic. The long and short of it is like, someone thinks he's their pet and they love him.
Right.
He can communicate with the Warrior of Light, and he is very intelligent and really, really does not like his owner. It's a great quest line.
Who the hell is Shackles?
Look, Cirilla.
You get a hat. Still exists. Oh, we need to do Pandemonium.
You were just talking about Pandemonium.
Because it's that, like, when, the credits are rolling and it's a Elpis. And
he's it's that one. Okay, yeah.
I've never done it. It gives you a post hat. Clearly, she hasn't gotten too far in that quest line. The kid made me feel bad for offering to help him for free because he's right.
Same, yeah. I was like, dude. I'm the Warrior of Light. Don't worry, child. I'll help you. And he's like, no, you jerk. Like, treat me right.
He roasts him so hard.
Yeah, it's so great.
Oh, man. Well, Tom, I can't say that I ever thought I'd see the day.
Yeah.
Where not only do you play RPGs, not only do you play Final Fantasy XIV, you complete Endwalker. That is, do you guys know how this was not possible?
That's why you spoiled it for me, because it wasn't spoiling anything.
There was just no world where Tom was gonna do that. Like, and it was so many things that got you to finally, and it wasn't even me. There were a lot of things
you connected some crucial dots though that I wouldn't have connected on my own.
Yeah, like you wouldn't have played Final Fantasy XIV if not for Earthbound.
Jake's Magical Market and Earthbound and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, like you wouldn't have just like downloaded.
Yeah, so the long and short of it, which is very cool, is because RPGs confuse the heck out of me. And I would watch you play,
which is so weird because I feel like they are the video game you would love the most.
I love them.
So story driven.
But I don't, and you and Cirilla were talking about this on the podcast you did the other day, where it was like, when you don't know what it is and you just see numbers and things happening, and Final Fantasy takes that, it's one that takes it to the extreme. But even in like a more basic turn-based, more primitive RPG where it's like there's numbers and this, and you have to choose this. And I was always confused because you would enter battle. You'd play some games that were turn-based and you'd enter battles. And I'd be like, why are you taking your time? Like, what do you mean? And then you just wait and see, like, it's not everybody fighting at once. And,
right. Like the boss has to attack and then you wait their turn and then your turn and then you attack.
And they aren't going to attack you during your turn because you take time.
This is so weird to hear you explain it like that.
Yeah.
It's well, obviously.
And I love, it was such a delightful accidental journey to be sent on. The closest thing I'd played to an RPG prior was like the Zelda games.
Which is not.
It's not, but
I mean, yeah.
It's the closest thing to, like, you are leveling up, you are building up an inventory, you have weapons that improve, like, it has that component to it. That's the closest I got. And then literally the day we met, you talked about Chrono Trigger. Your phone case, which is on your shelf back here, was Chrono Trigger. And you were like, oh, this is my favorite game.
Somewhere there.
And so I like history lessons, sorry. So humor me. And I'm also starving, so I want to go eat dinner. But in Christmas of...
Oh my God, this is Tom. He remembers dates.
Christmas of 2023, your brother got me, who got you into Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
He got me an analog pocket.
Yeah.
Which is a handheld. It's a very premium, like modern handheld game thing.
Like a Game Boy.
You can put any actual Game Boy cartridge in it from even different systems, which is very cool. But it can also be like, calling it an emulator is almost like a disc because it's more than that. But you can basically do everything up through, I don't think you can do N64 games on it, but like everything up to like that point. So Sega Genesis, all the original Nintendos.
And
like,
you just
all
loved
the
it.
console. It's perfect because I love my Game Boys, but it's also, has a beautiful screen, like a really beautiful display. It's the perfect form factor. It's an actual like backlit display, so you can play in the dark and I just loved it.
We're watching a YouTube video, guys.
Oh, sorry.
You have gone to form factor.
Let's talk about build quality and design. It's really great. And so I got in immediately, was putting in like my old cartridges, and then I was like, well, this can do more than that. So let me figure out how to like,
you were like obsessed for some reason with the retro. Like you just want to do retro RPG.
I just love it. I've always loved Link's Awakening was one of my favorite games of all time. I had that on the original Game Boy. And I even bought, I had bought years ago a Game Boy Color on eBay. Just for fun, because I just love that form factor so much. And so the Analog Pocket was like, and your brother knew that, so like, yeah, it was a really good fit for me.
See, yeah, like you would not have made the leap. It was a journey.
It was not. And so what I ended up doing was I was like, I want to put other games on this, and I was like figuring out games, and then Chrono Trigger, because I could do SNES emulation, I could do.
That was the one you started with.
Chrono Trigger. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this.
Yes.
So there's even a prior seed. Years ago, you and I bought the NES, the SNES Classic, like the little mini SNES that has like 30 games on it or whatever. Yeah. And we actually started playing Earthbound, what is it, 2018 or something. And we got like sort of in the beginning, I didn't know anything about RPGs, and
so primitive.
It just wasn't. It was too primitive for you, so we didn't complete.
Yeah.
It always stuck in my head though, as just the opening scene of Earthbound being really interesting and the first things you do. And I've always thought like that kind of seemed like a fun game. But it is,
it is primitive as hell, dude.
Yeah.
Like quality of life. There is no quality of life.
So I was like, okay, I want to play a game. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start with your favorite game. I'm going to play Chrono Trigger. I'm finally going to do it. I'm just going to dive in and play. I don't know what it's about. And I did. And I completed the whole thing, and it was fantastic. And I loved that game. And it was so much fun to play. Like, I think of like Christmas time with the tree and like Chrono Trigger music. It's so
adorable.
Nice.
I love that.
I think that took like 35 hours or something to complete it. And it was really cool to do it, and I loved it, and it was like a great story, and I was like, okay, what's next? It's like finishing a book. You got to find the next one. I was like, I'm going to go back to that Earthbound game, because I think now through Chrono Trigger, I think I'll understand that better. And then Earthbound, I think, would be like my Chrono Trigger. It has all the same charm, but it's got like the Hildy, quirky, goofy humor to it. It's bizarre enough, but it's like very interesting. And it is super primitive, but you accept the reality of the world with which you're presented. I didn't know otherwise. This is just how the games work. Chrono Trigger is also primitive. Like, like even when I finally started playing Final Fantasy, and I was like, your HP just regenerates on its own? What? Like, crazy. That's not what happens in these other things.
Yeah, you have to heal.
Yeah, super limited. You have like 8 inventory slots.
Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, no. But so I did all of Earthbound, and I just loved it so much. And then I did Mother 3, which is like the sequel. There's a whole story. Anyway, I did the sequel to it, which is, it really takes a leap. Like, it has the quirk and the humor, but it has like a way different story that like hurts. Like, it really is like, oh, like, I know it's these little.
So do you understand like the storytelling through
that's
a
my
video
favorite
game?
part.
Yeah.
And so after that, I wanted something else, and I was trying all these other like very popular old school RPGs.
You played Final Fantasy.
I tried Final Fantasy VI. I was doing
yeah.
Was it like Golden Sun?
Oh yeah, right.
I was like all of the like SNES RPGs, JRPGs, all of nothing could. And I don't like ones with random battles. Earthbound, at least you can see there's an enemy approaching, and even if it attacks,
Chrono
you know
Trigger,
what's happening.
You can see the enemies. Yeah.
Yes, I don't like the ones where like I just need to walk here and suddenly, it's like my anxiety doesn't do well with it. Because it's just it's like real life. There's danger at every moment potentially, and there actually is. No. So I couldn't find a game that was hooking me, and I was like, I'm gonna look. I don't know. I was browsing books on Amazon, and I stumbled into the genre of literary RPGs.
Yes, you did.
Through Jake's Magical Market, which is a trilogy, and it is fantastic. The first book is really 2 books, so FYI, if there's a shift in the middle, that's why. And I loved it so much. And now
I didn't finish it.
You didn't finish it, which I get. I do think that the author's other series, Portal to Nova Roma, you would actually love very much. Jake's was his first book ever, and that's the first series. And then the author has another series, which is still in progress. There's books 4 and 5 are on the way, and now I'm doing another lit RPG. I'm on the 3rd book of a 4-book series.
Tom is in RPGs, yeah.
All that to say, I was reading Jake's Magical Market, which involves...
Oh, that's right.
I was reading that. You started reading it, and you connected the dots because I just loved it, and I was talking about it, and you were the one who was like, you really like this, right? And I was like, yes. And you were like, this is Final Fantasy. Like this, yeah. I think you might want to give 14 a try.
It was the idea of like classes and the cards.
Well,
and
like, all the actions and the
abilities and that's when I was like, I think you actually might. There's a free trial.
Jake's is
this critically acclaimed MMORPG.
You literally had to say it.
It's free,
up to level 70. But Jake's has like the lit RPG genre is relatively new, and Jake's was one of the first, if not the first, that did like deck building with like cards, and you kind of like have these abilities and they evolve and stack. And the thing that made Final Fantasy approachable was I had read the whole series. I don't know if I didn't even finish the whole series at the time, but I was deep into it. I really loved the cards. I understood that. I understood how abilities worked and combined and evolved, all the stuff. And then when you have your hotbars, it's like, these are the cards. But I get to choose them and merge them and do the thing is like, and that's what like made it click for me to understand how it works.
You would have just never. I mean, that's why I told you everything. That's why I told you everything. Because I was like, there's no.
Yeah, the universe in which that series of events happens is this. It's only this one. there's no other timeline. And even then, I wouldn't have played Final Fantasy because I was also like so into the retro thing, jumping into, oh my God, I missed a whole, oh my God, sorry. I think it's important to look back when you've completed something. There's a whole separate arc, which is the Yakuza arc.
Yes.
Because once I finally finished Mother 3, I've watched you do the Yakuza thing, and I really loved Like a Dragon, which was the first one you played, and then you did all of them. And then you were like, I was so against like new graphics. I was like, I want to stick with my handheld retro.
Pixels.
I'm not connected to anybody online. It's just me. And you were like, I know you like this game.
For anyone who's played Like a Dragon, I just knew that Tom would specifically love this character right here, Ichiban Kasuga.
Yeah, and if you put Ichiban and Hildy together, they're not dissimilar characters.
Exactly.
I have a type.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's a turn-based RPG.
Yeah,
it's on a PS5, and that's where I was like, oh my God, I just left 30 years ahead in like quality, not just graphics, because I was like, I don't want to lose the charm, but storytelling, quality of life, like the way the game works,
the interface, the
we
mechanics.
Had so much fun.
Yeah.
And then we did the man, what's it?
Man Who Erased His Name.
The Man Who Erased His Name, which came out. We got to play that like after that, and that is not turn-based.
Yeah, it's classic Yakuza.
It's classic Yakuza
action RPG,
which is more like how Final Fantasy
real-time fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we did Infinite Wealth, which has both characters in it. What?
Don't finish that sentence because that's a spoiler.
The gameplay?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a good bridge, we could say. And then we're still kind of working our way through a few of those. But that was a portal of like, that was the bridge from retro to modern and being like,
look at this, guys. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I was more open to and then, which I still want to do is go through all of the Yakuza games, which we've done Infinite Wealth and we did Zero.
We did Zero.
And now I need to do like Yakuza, which now I'm like, I don't want to go back. It's old, but like it's 20 years newer than the last favorite game I was playing. I
think more, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah.
If anything, maybe less, but so that's the point we were at.
all the seeds.
All the seeds were planted, so now I'm open to modern games. You're connecting to literary RPGs.
And let me tell you, okay, when you downloaded this free trial, it was not like, do I like this game? Tom was the most hooked I've ever seen him with anything ever. Like, the teeth just went.
It was such a fun feeling.
I was like, oh my God, like, Tom is very regimented. He's got a routine. And then now it was like he finished his work so fast. He'd make all his YouTube videos and so he could play like immediately.
It's a very good motivator. It's more productive than ever.
I was like watching a 12-year-old kid discovering like video games for the first time.
Yeah.
And you were just like, I need to do the quest. I love leveling up.
It was just the work. It was the whole. It wasn't even like because it's Realm Reborn, so I hadn't really even like figured out the story yet. But it was like I built this character. I'm in this world. I'm figuring out how things work. I can go over here. I can click on this. I can like And I was just in like the default clothes they give you and all this stuff. But that's where I was saying like
pre-HGP.
That day I signed up, because everyone I guess this was ended up being the catalyst for what became HJP. But I know you and the other people you've talked about when you made videos about your characters, your Warrior of Light is like, it's like getting a tattoo. Like it's something to think about and consider, and it's very important.
Definitely.
So now I'm making my character, which is why I'm like, I can't believe people are doing this at Anime Expo in line. I spent at least 3 hours.
Yeah. Thinking of the name,
I think
picking out the eye
at
color.
least 2 of those hours was just the name. Yeah. God. Oh,
I really appreciate you telling that whole
story. Sorry, I know that was like a bit of a tangent, but it's very satisfying to like.
So we have to finish Dawn Trail in a year. We have a year.
Okay, well that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, and I'm hoping FanFest is in Vegas. It'd be awesome.
It was a great idea. You and others recommended I finish Endwalker before Anime Expo. That was a good move. Yeah, for sure.
When Tom first started, I didn't think he would get past ARR. Yeah. You did that quick. You did it quick.
I mean, ARR is also like relatively short compared to the others.
Yeah, but you were thinking like old school Zelda, like gold cartridge Zelda.
When I was talking Zelda, well, Link's Awakening was my first Zelda game, and is.
Oh, I agree. Kefka.
What's that?
It's a Final Fantasy antagonist from a different series.
Oh, okay.
He's very like Joker-ish.
Okay.
I'm so happy Thomas finished Endwalker. Was watching him discuss Shadowbringers plot with Heather that got me into this community.
Oh, wow. Shadowbringers
Maple.
Brought you.
That was a huge draw for me also, like Maple. It's like watching hybrids grow up. Oh my God, like watching my kids. I'm really excited to play Pandemonium Raids and the Nier stuff. Yes! Oh my God. So someone cosplayed 2B. Like from Nier. That's her name. And I was like,
I wasn't sure because I was like, is that to be or not to be?
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Okay. And then I was like, look, it's my dress.
Oh, yeah.
Like Oliver Bentley's dress. But, I colored mine. Yeah. And you were like, oh my God, it is.
It was perfect.
I know. It was so good. Quasi-ADM soundtrack of
Earthbound. Oh, the Earthbound soundtrack's great. So is the Chrono Trigger soundtrack.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Like choose your own adventure books. No.
It's you don't get to choose. It is
honestly, Tin. It's like it's basically a.
Oh, that's right up your alley.
Yeah, like it's
you're into tabletop.
It's just tabletop, but in text.
But you don't get to choose. It's literally like you. There's a main character who you read about. It's like. I would recommend. I really love Jake's Magical Market. It's quirky. It's fun. It's goofy. It is imperfect because it's the author's first thing.
I hated the writing.
Okay? Well,
the story's great.
I loved it, and I would 100% recommend it. But I can very confidently recommend it. And I would even recommend it to you. And had I known what I know now,
the fish.
Oh, heretical fishing is not for everybody. I love it very much. It's cozy, whatever. No, Portal to Nova Roma. It's a 4. Or is it a trilogy? No, sorry. Portal to Nova Roma. 3 of the 5 books are out, so it's still in progress. Knowing what I know now, I would have recommended that to you instead of Jake's, and I bet you would finish it and get caught up.
Cool. All right.
It's the same author, but it was him. He originally wrote Jake's literally for himself, not expecting anyone else to read it, and it became a book that, like, published online, became a book and a series. So, like, that's where, like, if you find faults with it, that's why. Nova Roma was like, this is a little more like structured, organized. It's also not as quirky and goofy. It's like, it's so good.
Wow.
It is so, at least the 3 that are out. So Tin, anyway, I feel like you would absolutely love it. Portal to Nova Roma. Indie publishing, indie author, supporting them. I just read on the Kindle. Absolutely love it. Actually, it's not available in print. I think it's only available electronically.
Yeah. This conversation just reminded me that gaming is coming full circle.
Yeah, now we're just reading books.
Who wants to tell Tom that this is literally RPG genre has been a thing for decades? I remember playing the Discworld game based on a huge book series. Loving going down memory lane.
Yeah, the current version of lit RPG is relatively new, and the deck building thing, which I think Jake's pioneered, Jake's came out in 2020, 2021. The way that it's done there,
I have to go through
new. Now it's a whole genre. There's a movie. The most popular lit RPG, which I haven't read, is Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is being made into a series by Seth MacFarlane, like a movie series by Seth
live
MacFarlane.
action.
Yeah, so it's reached that point where it did kind of explode over the past several years.
You know why? Book talk.
Which is cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
Book talk. Well, okay.
Sorry,
well,
we went
I
places.
wanted to leave you guys with 2 pictures that we took at Anime Expo just to kind of show you what it was like. Okay, so here's the first one.
What is this? Oh yeah. I was like, this is... Yeah, so yes, this one's great. The other side of the sign is the copy pasta of like, have you heard of the critically acclaimed?
So that's one. And here's the other one. This was so cool. Bam.
Yeah.
They were
big boys.
Life size. Like if you stood next to them, they would be taller than you.
Oh, but you can see some of the cosplayers in the back.
I have a we can look at the cosplay pictures.
Oh, we totally should.
Yeah, here. Let me put like a big group photo.
Yeah, because it's worth seeing what everybody did.
This one was, I think, everybody. Yeah, Yoshi P.
Yoshi P this was a fan led contest, so it wasn't even officially part of Anime Expo. But Yoshi P and his crew like just walked through to check it out.
Oh my god. Okay, so this is kind of cute. Here's let me drop a couple in here. Okay. So here is this is all the Asians?
Yeah,
the ancients?
It was supposed to be Asians, but it was everybody here. And actually, yeah.
There's a couple Hitler-days, as you can see. Got Bana, lots of Bana.
The one in the middle, who I think had the most detail when she has the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Her thing was funny because they called everyone over and she was like right behind me.
Oh, that's right.
She wasn't going, and like she's in like the most detailed costume. And she's like, "Do I go? What do I do? Do I not go?" And they're like, "Yo," she's like, "I'm sorry, I haven't finished this game yet."
I was like, "Dang, you're like dedicated." Someone was a full-on chocobo, which I actually could not believe. There was Reen.
Oh yeah, there was Reen and what's her face? Reen's friend.
Gaia.
Yeah.
Gaia?
And they did like heart hands together. It was very cute.
Yeah. Loperit. I think this is the Shadowbringers?
I don't know if he's there.
Oh yeah, there's Fandaniel right there.
The really decked out Alphino happened to find a really decked out Alize.
Oh, we thought that we knew they knew each other.
It looked like they had planned it together.
Here's the decked out.
Oh, there's.
Oh yeah, on the very edge, on the right side of the screen,
you can see the.
He has like pipes, and his like dagger things are coming like right on the edge of the frame.
Yeah, and there's ARR Thancred.
Yeah, ARR Thancred. Lots of Alize.
Oh, there in the far left is like the super baller Stola.
Y'shtola, yeah.
The giant.
Look at all the Grahas on the left. Yeah, it was so cool. It was awesome. This isn't even everyone. I think this was
this is
protagonist.
Oh,
because they did protagonist and antagonist.
Or was that just Scions?
Oh, maybe it was Scions.
I think it was Scions. There's so many Grahas, and there was a couple in the crowd that were just like, I'm not even gonna go in the photo. So there were even more.
Let's see, Namazu. Yes. Portal to Nova Roma is available in paperback. It will be at my door in 2 days.
Oh, that's right. I think people were bootlegging it, so he actually spent his own money to publish it.
Oh, the Chocobo Keeper mask.
Novaroma. It's so,
Oh, you see your friend. How cool.
Nice.
Friend. Yeah, he went as M8's boss. I don't know what M8 is. Got in late for the live. Just want to say hi before I go back to the live's beginning. Congrats on finishing Endwalker. Can't wait to see you guys stream the post Endwalker raids. We can do that. For the lore.
For the lore. Yeah, lore rating. I like that.
You were so... Look at you.
Because then I get to have the lore without the pressure of like... Yeah. We got to like 100%. Because then I know there's people in the community that can like help. They can handle it and help get us through.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking forward to Hildy Talk. Talking Hildy. I don't know what the...
Is this the new podcast series?
Yeah, I don't know a name for it, but I need to bring all the freaking...
You should be the
veterans
the
through
host.
Yeah, I need to be the Hildy host.
You gotta go back and do frame by frame analysis of
Manderville. I gotta think of something clever for this one.
Oh my god, you have ideas.
Manderville. No, because we have Mount Mondays. I was like Manderville Mondays.
All right, guys. Well, I just want to say, Final Fantasy XIV has been absolutely life-changing for me. Obviously, I wouldn't have this YouTube channel. I wouldn't be on this crazy journey. Wouldn't have met all you guys. Wouldn't have gone to Anime Expo. And it's just been such a big part of me and Tom's life and relationship. And I'm just so happy that you did it.
Well, I want to thank you for, making it something for connecting the dots, but also just, you were a living, breathing advertisement for it for many. I definitely wouldn't have gotten.
But I never told you to play it though.
No.
Yeah, because
that's how you get people. You can't tell. They'll never do it.
Yeah.
It took a couple years, but. Yeah. And I also definitely want to thank everybody in the HJP community for, there's
helping every step of the way.
Yeah, and there are definitely points where I wouldn't have been able. If I was doing what you did several years ago, I would have just been like, "Well, this is where it ends."
Yeah, that's where you take the pause.
Yeah, and I would just be like, "I'll come back to it," and I never would have come back to it. So
yeah,
very much.
You guys make it so fun.
Yes,
you make it all so fun
and achievable.
Yeah. So, I don't know how we're gonna do Dawn Trail, but I like this idea of you. You seem really host with the most right now. So you want to do Hildy? You want to lead me through Dawn Trail? I'll follow you.
I got real hyped when I realized people, the veterans. What?
Do you have the mentor icon? The Hildy mentor
I need
icon?
That. For that one specific thing only.
This is what I said. I said, let's go as Hildebrand and Nashu.
Yeah, there was not a Hildebrand.
Yeah, I was dismay. You were so sad.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with the whole thing of like, how could you do a thing where it's like it's the suit, but then you could do Tearaway, where then it becomes the
zombie one,
distress torn up one. Yeah,
yeah.
And how would you put that back and forth throughout the day? Anyway,
Heather has Nashu.
Wait, with the bomb.
Yeah, exactly. Hildy host on Manderville Mondays on Hildebrand. Oh man, see. I feel like this is a thing. We're watching an idea form.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah. Over the Hildy. I don't know.
Oh, it's okay. Let's go eat dinner.
That could be the theme for my 40th birthday.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll keep you updated. If you are new to HJP, HeatherJustPlay, join us in our Discord server. It's at HeatherJustPlay.com. You'll find a link there. We have events going on in 14 constantly, but also you can create your own events, whatever you want to do, whether it's tackling a trial or a raid or I don't know,
or if you need help with something.
Yeah, doing achievements, whatever. That's exactly what HJP is for. So come on in. We'd love to have you. And stay tuned for all the things that are going to happen.
I can give you a teaser. I several weeks ago sent off my second, I've talked about this a couple times. Off my second goalie mask to be custom painted. I shared some designs in the Discord, but I did not share the actual final design. And I
can't wait.
Very excited to share it.
To show you.
I don't know when. It takes weeks and weeks to paint a mask.
We got to do.
I had to send it to Georgia. It's a whole thing. I'm very excited for how it comes out, and I think people here will love it.
Yes, there's a lot of Easter eggs. So
I will just say, I can spoil. Hildebrand is on it.
You couldn't resist.
There's no other goalie mask in the world. I guarantee you.
How do you know that?
I guarantee it.
All right, guys. We'll catch you later. Have a good one.
All right.
See
Bye-bye.
ya. Bye.